The following program is brought to you by Pizza Productions.
The podcast no one listens to, with Kevin Porter. Nice.
Have you ever been called a flutterbug in your life? Ladies and gentlemen, it is a crime. It is a criminal offense for somebody to be so offensive towards me like that. I can't believe I was just called, what was it again?
A flutterbug.
A fucking flutterbug. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to an all-new episode of the podcast that no one listens to. I'm your highly offended host, Kevin Porter. We're here. We're back. We're back with an all-new episode. You know, I'm sitting here. Again, we're on like take 20. I don't fucking know. I'm telling Jessica, I'm like, get out. She's like, you can do stand-up comedy in front of a whole crowd of people, but you can't sit here and do an intro in front of me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't stare at the fucking audience, dude. I'm like looking straight at the wall half the time. I don't look at individual faces. Like maybe every once in a while in between a pause, but like, for the most part, I really don't pay attention to who's in the crowd. So, all right. With that being said, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to an all-new, brand-new episode. I'm fucking stoked to bring this one to you guys. We have our most highly requested guest ever. Jay McNay is making his podcast debut. Now, Kevin, does that really make sense? It's like, dude, I say that every fucking week, dude. Every guest is the most requested guest on my podcast. So Jay McNay is making his debut. Jay's a fucking cool dude, man. I had a fucking wonderful time sitting here in the office, drinking some beers, smoking some joints. The dude's fucking talented as shit, and I think it's definitely going to stand out in this podcast. I think you guys are all going to enjoy it, man. As much as I enjoyed recording this shit, you're going to enjoy listening to it today. What do we got to talk about? We could talk about, let's see what's going on this week. Going to Lagwagon, going to Tacoma on Friday. Woo. Jessica's looking over at me like, what did you say? You're going where? I put it on your calendar like a month ago.
Yeah, but we're going to the fair too.
We're going to the fair tomorrow. That's right.
Lagwagon.
Oh, come on now. You're saying Lagwagon that plays like what? Once every 5 years? Fucking White Trash Disneyland comes every year, Jessica.
But you're with your family.
I am with my family, and that makes it that much more special, right? I don't know. Whatever, dude. This is why I told you not to sit in here. I can't be. I can.
Yourself?
Well, I know you don't listen to these. You don't fucking listen to these.
Now I'm on to it.
You're like,
I know what's going on.
See, I'm baiting you into giving me downloads though, so I can go to the sponsors and be like, hey, pay me the big bucks. Pay me the big bucks. Like that, yeah. I should start going to like businesses here in town and be like, would you like to support my podcast? Buy for the peppermint stick, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even want cash. I just want food, man. Just hook me up with food. I'll read some sponsors off for food. I can do that shit through the company that we do our feed through. Like you can add fucking ads on here, but it's like what? I'm gonna add a bunch of corporate piece of shit ads on here. So like I get like what, 10 cents? Dude, that's such bullshit. It's such fucking bullshit. It's like we don't even get enough downloads to ever make fucking cash off this shit, dude. We are a Ma and Pa podcast, Jessica. That is exactly what we are. So, I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, we are going to the fair tomorrow. I am pretty excited because we're getting wristbands, and I'm planning on riding all the fucking rides. Like, Jory was trying to like sneak off and go with his friends. He's like, oh, can my friends go? And then I'll go hang out with them. I was like, who the fuck am I going to ride all the rides with, Jory? Who the fuck am I going to ride all the rides with? Jessica's sure. You're sure as hell not riding all the fucking... You going on the Ring of Fire?
Upside down.
You're not going... What the fuck?
I'll go up, but I ain't going upside down.
You're not going to the zipper?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think Jameson can go on the zipper.
He can't go on the zipper.
Enough, so I need to stay with him.
I can stay with him. You can go with Jory.
I'll go on the one where you go straight up and that fucking drops.
I hate that one, dude.
That one.
I hate that because it like... Because like you could see over the Sundome, and like I have such a fear of heights.
Oh my god.
Such a fear of heights, Jessica. Get over it. You don't like it's crippling. Like when I'm up there, it's like it's fucking crippling.
Oh my god.
It's fucking unsympathetic. embarrassing me on my own podcast.
Whatever.
This is just a pa podcast now. This ain't no ma and pa podcast.
You're taking the ma out.
I just took the ma out. You're done. You're done. So yeah, we're going to the fair. Then going to Lagwagon on Friday, which is, again, I know we talked about it before, but like, you know, it's at a McMinimans, dude. So it's like I could just get like a room and eat some good fucking food. Their espressos, top notch. Need to get some of their coffee. Definitely gonna get some because we gotta drive home that night. So I'm definitely gonna need some caffeine. So an espresso is definitely in order, ladies and gentlemen. This weekend, guys, we're recording all new episodes of the In the Mouth of Madness podcast. So Dustin and Brandon are going to come over and we're going to watch some movies, some films. So if you guys haven't yet, definitely go back and check out Deliverance. We just dropped that basically today. And before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and plug Jay McNay's Twitter account. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to find Jay on Facebook. This guy doesn't have an Instagram account. He doesn't have a Snapchat account. He has a Twitter account. And you can go ahead and find him on Twitter, whether it be in the show notes, or you can just go ahead and punch this on into Twitter right now, guys. A Washingtonian. Yeah, it's WASHINGSTONIAN. So you can totally find Jay on there. I got on there because he sent me his information there, and I thought, like, oh, I'll go follow him, and it turns out he's already fucking following me. So he was already ahead of the fucking curve on that one. So make sure to go ahead and follow Jay on Twitter. Because I like to upload my shit at the exact same time every single week, dude. Every single week. We drop this shit fucking midnight Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on the West Coast, so I do it at 9 because I go to bed early. But then I don't got to worry about it in the morning, but I had to do that this morning. And luckily, like the shit didn't take so long. It's like a 2-hour episode, guys, so like sometimes that takes a little bit to upload. And so, yeah, that's up. If you guys want to go check that shit out, it's pretty funny. I actually, like... Me and Brandon were discussing it, and we really do think that was our top episode, honestly, Jessica, out of all the episodes we've done. We consider, like, the top episodes to be, like, The Shining as our best episode. Not because of the movie The Shining. It's based on our riff of The Shining. And it's, like, our funniest one. And then, like, Breakdown with Kurt Russell, that was a good one. And then the one we did on Roadhouse was pretty fucking good. But Deliverance, I personally put it at the top. It was hitting on all cylinders in regards to the jokes and everything. So definitely go check that shit out, motherfuckers. Yeah, so we're gonna be hanging out this weekend, doing some shit, recording some movies. It's fun. I'm looking forward to it. Now you don't talk. I could put the ma back in.
You kick me and then you want me to join.
Well, shit. You're looking at me, so it's like you're making me feel uncomfortable, Jessica.
Well,
the most awkward intro I have ever done.
shut it.
Just get a little audience in here every single time.
Don't you have like the clappy hands? Yay!
I could do that in post, yeah.
Yeah.
I could do that in post, make it seem like I have people in here.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cut this one short this week. But, yeah, all right. So, Jay McNay is on this episode, guys. So, any more housekeeping? Do we got anything else to talk about? Worst intro ever, Jessica. Jeez. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jay McNay.
All aboard!
To Night Ranger.
That's what he was saying.
On Thursday.
He was saying Thursday. Thoughts and tales to tell.
Yeah, for sure.
Jay McNay, welcome to the podcast. I know. Let's do, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure and an honor.
It's a pleasure and an honor, and we cheers on
Cheers,
here.
sir.
Yeah, you were kind enough to bring presents.
The Buzzsaw McThunder.
Yes, sir.
Juicy IPA.
I gotta say, dude, you were kind enough to bring presents. You were kind enough to bring VHS tapes, dude. You're a fan of the pod, I know.
I wanted to prove my fandom of the pod.
you brought me the Alien trilogy, which I ironically
should have
I
known.
just bought that, dude,
Did
within
you
the
just
last
buy-
month,
oh,
dude.
well, so
I
that's
fucking
close.
been eBaying it a little too much lately, dude. My wife's been getting a little pissed off.
Yeah, I know.
She saw the credit card bill. She's like, "What the fuck?"
I heard it last week's podcast, and I thought, oh man, if she sees me bringing in VHSs, she's gonna get pissed off at
Oh,
me.
dude, yeah, she's not even here right now, so we're good,
That's
dude.
where the best sneak them in.
Indeed, dude. Yeah, dude. So Welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast where we get fucking really high.
Sounds good.
We drink some beer. I know you gotta drive and shit, so we can't get too wasted. But
No, all satirical, of course.
satirical, of course.
Metaphorically high and wasted.
Yeah, dude. So, fuck, dude, it was crazy. So, like, before I was waiting here for you, before you showed up, and I was putting on my barbecue cover outside.
Right.
And so my wife's always telling me, like, oh, you gotta be careful around here. You gotta be careful, right? And so, of
metal
right.
thieves?
Well, no, you gotta be just careful of little things around you.
Of
and
everything?
Shit.
Oh,
Of everything.
I
So
see what you mean.
I had my hand inside the fucking barbecue cover, and I'm pulling it. I'm like, oh, maybe I should look. There's a fucking black widow like right next to my hand, dude. I freaked the fuck out, dude.
That's how close.
I freaked out, and then so I dropped it. I kicked it. It came off onto the concrete. I smashed it, and then I found another one on there.
So you saw like the telltale red. What do they call that thing? Like the two triangles or whatever it is.
On the belly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't get close enough. I just saw. We've been finding them around here all summer, dude. Like,
So you recognize them now?
I was turning on the irrigation water one day, and I put my hand. Same shit, dude. I put my hand down there. I saw this huge pregnant one, dude.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, we stopped that one. That was it was a lot bigger than the two that we saw, but
That is rough.
I don't know, dude. Fucking spiders around here pain me out. I don't really, unless it's a black widow, I don't fucking kill it.
No, yeah, I try not to. I guess brown recluses will also fuck you up, or maybe even
I think
worse.
those will fuck you up even worse.
That's what they say, which sounds bad because there's like no warning. They're just brown. They don't even have the red part.
Well, because they're commonly mistaken with wolf spiders or some shit.
Yes, which seem pretty fucking terrifying. Also,
Those are like big ones too, dude.
I don't think I could avoid killing that. I try not to kill most stuff, just karma wise, but fuck, man.
Right.
When you're terrified, the fight or flight kicks in, I think.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm like really scared of rattlesnakes. I would run.
yeah.
I would run like a pussy if
It's like a rational fear.
Or like cougars or bears.
Yep.
Maybe
That
even
all
a wolf.
seems. I mean, fucking any of that shit, man. I was up. My brother used to live in Alaska. He was stationed up there in the military for a while.
Damn.
We were walking around and like just off like the path in the woods in one place, there was a fucking elk. Which, if it wanted to, it could just turn and just walk over you. It wouldn't even have to run. It could just fucking just crush you with one hoof.
What about the fucking moose? The moose is up there.
Oh, I guess it probably was a moose. Is that what it is? I don't know.
No, I think you're. I think it would be.
Things,
we get
whatever
elks.
the
We
fuck
get elks
it
down
was,
here.
man.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had elks up there too, though.
Who knows? All I know, it was huge. It was
Dude.
a big horse.
Dude, my uncle's up in he's up in Alaska too, and he just shows me the pictures. He'll text me and just they're fucking big.
It's amazing.
They'll fucking fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Everything's big up there. It's like Jurassic Park, where it's just been everything's been allowed to grow. Or that Secret of the Ooze movie where the dandelion is like 50 or not 50. Remember that?
Dude.
That
Yeah,
was
like
my movie
was
as a
it?
kid.
What, the
Tokar and Razar or some shit
Razor.
like that. Razor. Yeah.
Razor. Oh, dude, I love Secret of the Ooze.
Babies! They're babies! That was good
They
shit.
have to
man.
grow into their shit, dude. I remember as a kid, Secret of the Ooze is my favorite.
Yep.
It's fucking definitely my favorite. And then, but as an adult though, going back and rewatching them, it's like the first one's the best.
I didn't even. It's weird because when you're a kid, I think we're about the same age, like 30, early 30s. I try not to even keep track anymore because it's depressing. But
I'll be 34 in like 2 months.
yeah, that sounds sadly the same for me.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
yeah,
I let
we're
my
like the
girlfriend
same
keep
age.
track. I sometimes
Yeah.
ask her, "What am I like 33 now?"
dude.
She's like, "Yeah, I think that's what she says." Or
My
maybe
wife
32,
legitimately
but
fucking forgets her age. She'll hit me up like, "How old am I?" I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
I don't. You don't want to remember any past 30 or so. It's like, yeah,
All I gotta do, get your calculator out, subtract the current fucking year from the year of your birth. Oh, okay, I guess I'm 32.
Or just the fact that you own a calculator still means that you're probably in the 30s at least.
Yeah, dude.
It's a good sign.
That's something kids don't have to fucking worry about anymore.
I guess not. Remember those fucking... I mean, I never even really got to this level in school, but I remember seeing people with like those big expensive Texas Instrument calculators and shit back in school.
Spend like $150 on
Yeah,
that shit.
fuck that, man.
Parents are like, "Fuck, you better not fucking flunk out of math class." You're like, "Oh, I guess not." Like,
I didn't even get in the first place.
Yeah,
I
right.
avoided all that.
I think maybe I had one at some point, but we were poor as shit. And I never did. I was so dumb as shit at math.
I don't even. It doesn't even make sense. I start reading numbers on the page and then just go blank.
I know you really gotta like sit down, take your time with it,
Yeah.
and focus. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, for the most part, I did good in school. for the most part. A lot of it was just not effort on the homework.
Yeah.
If I would have just done the work, it would have been I probably would have done a little bit better. But it was just like, I'd rather watch TV.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
what I
watch
did.
professional wrestling.
Just enough to get by, and just like zero thought to the future, basically. Like just enough to get through class, and then go fucking watch TV or go to the river and fucking do whatever kids do by the river.
Go fucking. I used to skateboard. I used to I used to ride bikes a little bit, but I was never like BMX or anything. I used to try rollerblading. You jump like the 2-3 stairs or something. You'd be like, oh, fucking badass.
Yep. Same thing. I used to skateboard, quote unquote, not even. I was bad even for chubby white kids. I mean, I had a friend who skateboarded, then like he had like some cool older friends who in retrospect were, fucking losers who were hanging out with middle schoolers at the skate park.
Just go hang out with those 13-year-olds down the road.
Those actually were complete pieces of garbage. I thought they were cool when I was 13 because they were buying us beer, but...
Fuck, that's awesome that you had somebody at 13.
It was, I
had to wait till I was like 16.
I remember going to like some fucking stupid middle school party and we had got this like dirt bag, me and my buddy, he bought us each like 140 and just showed up at a party with that. It was like, whoa, you got a 40. He was like, yeah. Just like sipping on that all night. It was fucking so warm, like 2 hours later.
You had two girls saying, hey, can I get a sip of that?
Yeah,
Let me have some of that.
Handing out sips.
Yeah. Yo, bro. What the fuck? I mean, parties when you're a fucking kid, dude. Like, I didn't start getting into parties till I was definitely in high school.
Yeah. That was, early high school for me. I remember like freshman year, people would have parents go away and stuff. And I mean, that was a different time too. Like, that was... I don't think it was actually pre-internet, but I was like poor and a loser and shit too. So it was basically pre-internet.
It was like what, 99, 2000?
Yeah, like 2001, I think was my freshman year in high school. So like it was pretty much pre-internet. It was out, but it wasn't like it. There was no social media to speak of. I don't think.
No, dude. Well, like if you had AOL,
right?
You had
that
like
was
you had an
that
instant messenger name, and that was about it.
Dude,
and then like you had Yahoo and all that shit. So you had instant messenger.
I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't remember this. I probably shouldn't say it because someone can like figure out how to steal my identity or something. But I won't say the exact thing. But my fucking AOL name as the fucking fat pale white boy in fucking small town USA was Tony Montana Killa or some stupid
Tony
the guy
Montana.
from Scarface.
Yeah,
Because I listened to a lot of Tupac at the time and
That's
shit.
awesome.
So like in retrospect, it's just like so embarrassing.
No.
Remember you could have like a profile or something.
Yeah.
I'd put like rap like Tupac lyrics in the profile. You think it was like cool like. I can't even remember now.
I'll still do that shit, dude. I'll still put lyrics from a song.
I mean-
if I was able to put more quote space on my Facebook,
just all song lyrics.
yeah, dude.
In retrospect, though, I don't think it was for me. I mean, Tupac had an album called "Strictly for My Niggaz." So I don't think I was one of those.
Well, that was back in the day,
technically.
dude. Like that was like 20 plus years ago.
Oh, it's probably at
18,
least,
well,
right?
it's 18 years ago,
Yeah.
at least 2001. But it's like back then. It's a little different, It's like there was I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, and I actually
It was like anti-PC culture, honestly, with
yeah.
South Park and Jerry Springer and,
right.
and like
and
Stone Cold
rap
Steve
coming
Austin.
in at the time.
Rap
Like
gangster rap,
at that
100%.
time was huge, and they didn't get to be the huge celebrities they got to selling just to the African American community. They were selling a lot to fucking white kids like me.
It was mainstream.
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely. Yeah. And I think as far as I'm no rap connoisseur, but I listened a lot to it back in the 90s and stuff. I think as far as those gangster rappers go, Tupac was a level above as far as like he was something different. He was lyrically different. If you look into some of his past now with like the documentaries and stuff, I mean, he went to the high school that the musical Fame was based on.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was not an actual like gangster before. It was like
No,
a
you're right.
I mean, it's like
No, I know what you
Shakespearean.
mean,
It's cool almost. I've never watched. I think they did make a movie about him, like that NWA movie, but I never watched that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it deals with this because from the looks of it, it was like a deal where. I'm probably talking too much. Huh? No, it's fine. Okay, I didn't want to take over the whole conversation here.
Bro, the point
I have
is,
one beer and I never shut up.
The
Okay.
less I talk, the listeners like more of that.
Okay, so I thought it was supposed to be a conversation, just me
No.
rambling about Tupac. Of all the things I would have thought I might have
Tupac,
talked
dude.
about,
I love Tupac.
I actually loved him a lot as a kid. And my point being, though, it was like Shakespearean because he got into this, like, the rap, I mean, not the rap thing, the gangster
role.
thing, like
It's
with
like a
Suge
role,
Knight
dude,
and
it
stuff,
says, yeah.
and he just got, like, too deep. And he was playing the role, and I'm sure it was fun for him, too, because, you're a tough guy now for the first time, and, like, you have the ladies and the drugs, but, like, and it just fucking ate him alive. All it takes is one real gangster who doesn't care about his life to fucking shoot you in a drive-by shooting, one bullet, and you're gone. I mean, he got shot several times, obviously, but I mean, it's just so sad. And then the same with Biggie, and it's just like those two guys who were artists ultimately, who were not really from our part of that, got caught up in it and taken out. And then, you saw what happened afterwards. I never really followed rap much afterwards, but
that was kind of the climax for you.
I know, for me, yeah. It's kind of like WWF too, where it's like, I remember I just recently got the network, as they call it, and I couldn't remember when I actually stopped watching it. I knew at some point around 2001 or so, I kind of got more into, hanging out by the river.
WCW got bought. So
yeah,
that's what
that's
what a lot of a lot of people went other ways in 2001. Mm-hmm. I had a friend, sorry to cut you off.
No,
the guy that I was I used to watch wrestling with.
Yeah,
that's when he stopped. Also,
right. Yeah.
I kept watching.
Yeah,
he stopped.
I'm in retrospect because I might have stopped even before that, because I stopped before it actually switched to WWE. Which I would have guessed was around 2001 or so, but
it was 2002.
Oh, is that all? Because when I go back and watch it, by 1999, it's shit that I don't recognize. When I go back on the network and watch it, so I must have stopped around 98 or so.
Okay,
so a long time. I didn't
been when it started.
When it really, in retrospect, I was only in the really early Attitude Era, but I was a huge fan of it.
mid-90s.
Yeah, mid-90s for sure.
So that's when I got into it too.
That was
Bret
my
Hart,
big thing.
Shawn Michaels, fucking Duke the Drumster Drozy, Doink the Clown,
Doink, yeah, man.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hunter is watching some of that network stuff now. It's so amazing to see him go back in so many different iterations, even though he keeps the same name and body types. What the fuck, man? When he first came in, he's like one of those old school wrestling bendy figures, and now it's like a superhero or whatever.
It's all fucking jacked.
Yeah,
it's been a couple questionable times he's come back and people are like, "Hey man, what you taking there, Triple H?"
I mean, there's no question. I don't think there was any question whatsoever. I mean, we've all seen Chyna's clit, and they were dating for a while.
God,
so
dude,
I'm sure she got what he was taking, and I mean, which is fine if that's the path you're taking. I'm not hating. No body shame here. We were talking about that the other day at open mic with Jack, and I
remember that. I remember we were talking about that. Yeah.
I ended up just holding my tongue, but now since it's being recorded for posterity, I might as well say it. I mean, like I said, if you're going to bed with a lady bodybuilder, what do you expect? I mean, buy the ticket, take the ride, right? I'm not saying that wouldn't be my choice, but it's like, all right, you're going to bed with Chyna, you're gonna just have to. You're just gonna have an interesting night at your hands. I was more upset. I was less able to watch that particular video because it was X-Pac and his dick, and I didn't want to see that. I mean, it was fine. It was a fine piece, but
it's now you go watch.
That takes me out of it.
Yeah, you go watch his matches now, and he's like, "Suck it." You're like,
no, I have the visual.
It's like some PTSD on that, dude. It's like, no Chyna, no one not in Chyna, never again.
That's so weird that you do get that. I remember I used to work at Perkins, like a short order, like Denny's or whatever, like just a short order cook.
I've heard of Perkins.
And it was at a time when Colin Farrell apparently had a sex tape that came out. And I remember a coworker coming up to me like, "Hey, did you hear Colin Farrell had a sex tape?" I was like, why would I want to watch?
It's like, I
want to see the female
biggest Colin
sex
Farrell
tapes.
fan right here, guys.
Like, I don't want to see the.
So what'd you think?
Yeah.
Let's see better.
It's
pretty average.
I don't need to see that.
I remember when Hulk Hogan's fucking sex tape came out.
That was an interesting
I did watch that, dude.
That was an interesting one.
I did watch that. Just like, oh my god.
I watched a bit of that. That was weird. And that was actually, I guess, his friend Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. And that was like everyone was cool with that. That was what. Excuse me.
Yeah, no,
that's what was supposed to be which is an interesting thing. I guess that ultimately took, what was it, Gawker down though. So ultimately, it was good, I guess, in the long run. Because that
kind of saved Hulk Hogan's ass, considering the fact that he lost his ass on that divorce and all that shit that happened with his kid.
What a weird! I forgot. Remember, he had that reality show.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot all
Hogan
about
Knows Best.
that. And
his
that
daughter's
weird
a train
daughter
wreck.
and wife. His daughter tried to have like a music career for a while. What a weird world, that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. You think that if there was anybody that would ever have a podcast, it'd be fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's weird that he doesn't.
Yeah, it's weird.
How with so many stories? And he's never even really. Has he ever written a book? He must have.
He's written a couple books.
Yeah.
He wrote a biography when he came back to WWF in 2002.
Oh yeah.
And then he came out with another one, I think 2010, and it was like talking about how like when he was going through the divorce, he was like almost gonna like he was talking about how he was taking like pills and shit, and like drinking all the time, and like
I was drinking a
he had a
handle
gang gun to his head and shit, dude. It's insane.
That's a weird. I guess that's a fucking success story as far as professional wrestling goes, though. Holy shit!
Well, I mean,
man.
the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, back to like.
Well,
I mean, then he got
almost
banned when he got canceled. There,
I know, that's so weird. Which was from
The
wasn't that
sex
shit
tape.
from the sex? The sex had been out for years. That was just like the Shane Gillis thing or something.
Yeah.
It's like and they're just waiting. They're like, oh yeah, he said this word in this tape that's been out for years. So they're, all right, we never want to. You're kicked out of the Hall of Fame, and then they just embrace him back a couple
Yeah.
years later when,
Oh, God.
when it dies down.
You paid your dues, okay?
Yeah.
You paid your dues in cancel
Repentance.
culture, Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan.
You didn't get your T-shirt revenue for a couple
Yeah.
of years. Now you're back at it.
You read the dirt sheets, they're all talking about how he had like conversations with like the New Day and like Mark Henry and like was it Titus O'Neil,
Oh,
current wrestlers.
all the African American wrestlers.
Yeah.
Now, what conversations are you gonna have? That he's a 60-year-old dude from Florida? Like, what the fuck do you expect? Like, they're lucky that the Ultimate Warrior and those motherfuckers still aren't alive. But can you imagine
have you
those
heard
road
about the
trips?
racist? No, have you heard about the racist?
No,
race
I don't.
from Ultimate Warrior. Dude?
No, I don't get to watch any of that like kayfabe stuff or whatever they call it. But it sounds like there's all
so
sorts
bad,
of crazy
dude. It's
stories.
so bad.
That's funny. I
Like-
just picked him at random. I'm sure
listen-
you could say the same thing
yeah.
about the Big Boss Man, but yeah,
I'll
that's
listen
funny.
to like podcasts that talk about wrestling back then, dude, and the things that they have to say about the Ultimate Warrior is nothing but bad.
That's funny.
Nothing but bad. They're like, I hate to speak well of the dead,
But this guy,
it's bad.
that's
Dude.
hilarious.
It's really bad. Get Ultimate Warrior. Fucking, I don't know, man.
Ultimate Clan Warrior or whatever what's the Ultimate Dragon or whatever those weird names they have in those places.
Yeah, now they
That's
have like a
unfortunate.
charity award for him in the Hall of Fame every year.
Of course. It's just so weird where they until someone complains, until like some audio tape comes up and someone complains and then they kick him out.
It's
for a
weird
couple
that
years.
it's weird that like his wife like works for the company.
Oh, is really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Is
She works like on creative or something.
Oh, so behind the camera?
I mean, well, WWE did that shit for Vicky Guerrero when Eddie Guerrero died. They gave Vicky Guerrero a job.
Yeah, that was weird. She was like weird looking.
But she
right?
got good though.
Well,
She got
Was
really
she
good.
She was the microphone.
Yeah, she was the
lady,
general
right?
manager for SmackDown, and then
Oh,
she had
that's
the
right.
storyline of the Edge where she got married.
I don't think I saw
Yeah,
it.
that was like
Shit.
07,
Yeah, I
08.
missed all that.
Yeah, I was barely paying attention then. I
Interesting.
was like following on like pay per view, like watching it on DVD every month because I never had cable when I first moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I just follow on the dirt sheets and.
Yeah, I've never had cable. So like even as a kid, I would just like I would never actually like follow it because I'd never be able. That's why I got the network because I wanted to go back and watch some of the Raws and especially like the NWO stuff, which by the way fucking
Kicks
sucks.
ass.
Well, it's fun.
okay.
It's fun to watch in retrospect, but I went and watched all the Nitros.
No,
and
I was gonna say it was fun when you watched it first run.
Oh yeah,
but
it was
watching
amazing.
It back now,
as a
it's
kid,
pretty fucking corny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And not even corny. It's just all build up with no payoff. Fucking Sting just hangs out in the crowd for literally like a year. Like I watched a year's worth of like Nitros and nothing happens. It's just like all build up to like I think it's Starrcade or
Starrcade
something like
97.
that,
Yeah.
which ends up being like just a sloppy weird match with Hogan and I don't know. It wasn't as cool as I remembered it. I guess.
Fucking
But it was kind of cool.
Eric Bischoff's been on record basically saying that Sting was on drugs.
Oh really? What kind of drugs?
I don't know if he was actually on drugs, but he showed
Interesting.
up. They didn't say necessarily drugs, but they said he showed up like not necessarily in the best of shape
At that Starrcade?
at that. Starrcade.
Well, they hadn't had him do anything. Was there some reason why he was never in the ring that whole year?
I think it was just to build the character.
That was just the, but
just
it
build
seems
the
like,
character.
Yeah, but they
But I
really
mean,
didn't do anything.
As a
with
kid,
it.
though, I remember as
as
like
a kid,
that
it was the coolest thing in the
badass.
fucking world.
Like,
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Oh yeah,
dude.
absolutely.
I watched. I was watching Raw from '97,
Yep.
September 22nd, 1997.
Nice.
And dude, like the two back-to-back matches ended in DQ, dude, within less than 5 minutes. It's like the work rate now compared to then is like
Oh yeah,
100 times, but years upon years.
it's different worlds. I mean, especially
Yeah.
I guess probably because of the ECW influence and stuff. Like that's the stuff that I've found is the most entertaining for me so far. Like '97, it's like it's before the official like Attitude Era, as people would say, actually started, but it was starting to get pretty raunchy and pretty weird with
Well,
like Gold
ECW
Dust
is
and
like
Sunny
what-
and stuff.
Yeah, ECW is like what influenced the
Oh, yeah.
Attitude Era, you know, with like 95, 96, 97, like you're saying, man. That's
Yeah.
like that prime time, like Cactus Jack, fucking Sabu,
Sandman,
fucking Sandman,
yeah.
New Jack.
That shit.
Fucking New Jack, dude.
I
That
mean,
guy.
New Jax is a legitimate maniac, right? Like a actual psychopath in real life.
I think so, yeah.
You've seen the
I've watched
stabbing.
these videos.
The
Yeah.
stabbing is like hard to watch. I don't know if that's actual real or not, but it looks real enough where it's like, ooh. It looks real because it's not like played up. Like if it was a fake stabbing, you would expect it to be played up more. It looked like a prison stabbing where the guy like doesn't even realize it at first, and then he's like, "Oh, what? I'm bleeding." It's
He's just
oh.
that one video of him just like throwing that one guy through like all those fucking tables and shit.
The old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he hits him with like the baseball. Man, New Jack. Have you ever listened to Legion of Skanks?
Do they have New Jack on there?
They've had New Jack on a couple times. Yeah, and it's weird. It's fun, but it's weird.
I'm gonna look that up, dude.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that's the best podcast.
Man. That's fucking Legion
right
of
now
Skanks,
for my money.
dude.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Big J had the best, and this is saying a lot, but even Joey said that he wasn't happy with how it turned out. Big J had the best set on the Degenerates comedy special on Netflix, which include Joey Diaz, who should have, I expected that one to blow everyone away, but Big J's was by far the best. He's one of the best working stand-ups right now. Definitely in my opinion and by everyone's account, as far as I can tell. He and those type of guys are like the last generation that was directly influenced by Attell and Patrice and all those guys, as far as like they were the kids sitting a couple chairs away just listening to that, like Colin and those guys talk and shit, and it shows, as far as they're the ones that are in part getting in trouble, kind of. And they're so far out of ever getting anything real that there's no like getting in trouble. But Shane Gillis was on their podcast a lot. Some of the stuff they reference was stuff he said on their podcast. He was the day after, I think it was, or a couple days after he got kicked out of or off SNL or whatever you want to call it. I don't think he actually came on camera, but because they recorded The Stand in New York, he came on their podcast, or at least he was in the background, and then Michael Che, who was the Weekend Update and one of the head writers at SNL, actually, he goes on there all the time, which is funny because no one fucking cares.
I didn't realize Michael Che goes on fucking...
He's legit, man. Dude. That's the cool thing.
I need to listen to him more, dude. That's like, out of all the podcasts, that's the one I'm not listening to every single week. But I need to, though, because every time I listen to it, dude, it fucking makes me laugh hard.
Yeah. And they're like, the last couple years, they're still good, but it's probably not just as like raw funny as it used to be. But I think we talked about this before in the past, too. But like, when I started listening, probably 5 or so years ago, maybe more now, none of them had anything. Like Jay was working he was kind of a headliner, but not. He was still like kind of like middling for guys and stuff too. Dave Smith, who's like now big in the libertarian world and stuff like that, which is cool. I guess Mark Christopher is a fan of Dave Smith, but doesn't know about Legion of Skanks because he's like a big libertarian, which is cool. And then Lewis, who's like almost more of the business minded. He runs Skank Fest, which is like a huge festival in New York now. Those two were more like open mic, not quite, but almost that status, that like 6-7 years ago. And to see it build up, but back then it was go back and listen if you have time from almost the start, basically, of the feed.
I have a lot of time to watch.
I'm telling you,
listen to podcasts.
That is worth your time because those early shows, especially, are just fucking hilarious. And it harkens back to a time there was no advertising in podcasts. I don't even think Rogan was probably making some money, but not like he was now. There was certainly no Shaq podcasts or stuff, but it hadn't blown up like it has now. Not every fucking reality star got a podcast. No one knew about it. So there was a time where people were just stand-ups. It was just like, you're just fucking, it was like, it was Kumia, it was, that kind of, Opie and Anthony, that audience and shit like that,
Opie and Anthony is pretty fucking
back
funny.
in the day, I never listened to much of it, but they had all those guys
I haven't listened to a lot of it either, but like I've heard them on, like I've heard Kumia. It's Kumia, right?
Kumia, yeah.
Kumia, that's gone on all their podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've listened to him, and then I've like seen the some clips online and shit.
Yeah. He's got his whole own network, and it's a little more, not super political, but a little more political. It definitely would fall into what some people would call alt-right. Even a little bit too much for me. I'm usually like don't care about, but to the point where it's like I'm not really looking for politics. Yeah. Which is why Skanks is so great.
His is all pay for.
Yeah, his is all behind a paywall, which is interesting.
Fuck that, dude. I'm not gonna pay. So there's certain podcasts, like there's a wrestling podcast I listen to. It's called Post Wrestling, with John Pollock and Wei Ting. Mm-hmm. And like those guys are the only guys that I've ever been on the fence on in regards to like, will I support a Patreon? Because I generally enjoy listening to them for their professional wrestling intake. So it's like I would be willing to spend it, but it's just I don't, just because I'm like, well, fuck it.
They're doing it anyway. I don't need my $5. That's kind of how I feel. I'm technically a subscriber to what they call Gas Digital, which is it's what Skanks is on, and they have a bunch of other podcasts.
I've heard the beginning. They're like Gas Digital.
And it's like a whole thing, but they still put out their podcast for free. I don't even listen to it on their on their. It's just more about like supporting them, as it were. Like I'm sure they don't need my $5 a month, but especially with all this other shit
it's
going
good.
on,
It's good to put
like,
your money where you like.
Definitely,
you want it, dude. 100%, dude.
For sure.
No, I like listening to Ari Shaffir. I think Ari Shaffir like lately has been the one that's like really I've dove into that. Yeah. 'Cause it started with Rogan, and then I fucking caught on to Joey Diaz and Bert Kreischer. Yeah. Tom Segura. I don't listen to Tom Segura because I don't want to listen to him and his wife.
Yeah, I listen to that a little bit.
I don't listen to it as much,
but
dude.
It's not quite.
It's better when it's him and Bert, dude. When they do the fucking the two bears.
I haven't listened to that one yet. I've heard about
it. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny, like especially the first like 3 episodes. Like, they say some fucking funny shit.
I'll have to check that out. I listen to Bert's pretty much every week, depending on the guest. But Bert's great.
Yeah, depending on the guest for sure.
Sometimes,
but, man, fucking Tom Segura though, dude. That's the one dude that I've been fucking watching for like stand up.
Oh yeah, I've listened to a lot of his stuff. I don't think I've actually sat down and watched one of his specials, but he's blowing up. He's doing like huge, not arenas, but like
he's doing
theaters and shit, right? Yeah,
he's doing theaters. Now his shit's really funny, dude. Like I really enjoyed, his comedy.
Yeah, he has a real interesting style that seems to lend itself to what.
Can I get another beer?
Yeah, absolutely. That's popular nowadays, like that conversation. Well, he has that one special, Mostly Stories, and that's what it is, right? It's so conversational that I think people really like that, especially in this podcasting era and whatnot. I like from that whole quote-unquote death squad of, the offshoots of Rogan, Duncan Trussell, I like a lot.
Oh, Duncan Trussell is really good.
Duncan Trussell family, or that podcast is, it's fucking weird as shit. And that's another one that's like based on, sometimes those guests are tough to get through, but I always will at least listen to his intros, because they're so fucking off the wall.
Yeah, the intros are always different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's such a great guy as far as like I listened to also like the Tinfoil Hat podcast with Sam Tripoli, like all Tripoli's stuff.
But we talked about this shit.
And we can come back to that because that's actually interesting and all that shit. But Duncan's great because like Tripoli gets like fucking worked up about this stuff, right? And like a lot of those conspiracy guys get like that. And I like how Duncan comes in and kind of is this more like, all right, man, maybe it's going on, but it's our job is to just push the love out. We don't respond with more hate. It's all bullshit and weird, but like I like that general attitude more. Where it's like, okay, we don't have to. Let's not rile people up or anything. Let's just kind of.
I don't know, dude. Like I find myself very like. Fucking what's not predisposed, but like like when like I don't know, like I enjoy when they fucking get that passionate.
I love
it.
I love it when Tripoli,
like when Alex Jones was in his heyday, dude, and just like going off the rail and shit, dude. Like I love that fucking type of shit, dude. Like fucking assemble the masses and all that shit, dude.
I mean that if someone came to you and said, I have a 3-hour drive. Mm-hmm. I'm not really. I mean, I'd have to preface this with some other stuff, but generally speaking, if they said like I'm kind of into podcasts, I wouldn't want to completely fucking blow their mind. I wouldn't tell my mom to do this. Yeah. But if my brother was like, okay, I kind of know who these people are, I want to listen to something that's just gonna be entertaining.
Right.
I would steer them towards that fucking Alex Jones podcast or Rogan. That fucking 3.5
hour
so interdimensional
so
child
amazing.
stealing vampire with Bravo in the back, like that thing. I remember I was working. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it. For some reason, I was working early in the morning, like 3 in the morning in winter, and it was like snowing, and I was listening to that shit, just like looking up to the snowfall, and I'm like, this is the craziest fucking shit. I don't necessarily believe any of it. I don't necessarily don't believe any of it. I love just stepping back and just like watching it all play out.
I don't know, man. He's not all full of shit. I mean, there's definitely a layer you gotta like, you gotta definitely watch it. Like, it's like Rogan fucking says, like, all fucking Alex Jones needs, he needs somebody there fucking like, hey, rein it in, buddy. Rein it in. Like, let's calm it down. He needs his Duncan Trussell, dude.
You're getting off the tracks a minute.
Right? Yeah.
You get worked up. But that's what it is. See, that's why I almost feel sorry for these people that can't understand what Alex Jones is and what he isn't. Like, I come from a time, and like we're saying, because we're kind of the same age. Did you ever listen to Coast to Coast?
Yeah.
AM before like the internet even fucking existed.
When I worked fucking pizza delivery, dude, I used to fucking listen to that shit. Fucking, I didn't get it. Well, is George Norrie is the one now or the one before? No, Art Bell was before.
Art Bell was the original.
Okay, so like I never got to listen to Art Bell, but I have listened to George Norrie though.
Yeah,
a lot of George Norrie back in that. So it was like 2010, 2011, 2013 is 12 too in there. Like that's when I got to listen to a lot of it.
So like even before that, like fucking early 90s, mid 90s, pre-internet shit, I remember because I never had cable growing up. Like there was a lot of it's like I grew up in the 50s or something. There's a lot of radio. I remember just the radio, like AM radios, like Dave D House. It was always like this shit. Man. There was always Mariners games on. There was always my dad always was listening to radio, so like there'd be like also like That's probably why I'm not super political one way or the other, because there'd always be like political shows on too. So I just listened to usually I guess right wing, but all sorts of different people talk about different shit. So I wasn't necessarily indoctrinated into one thing or the other. But then at night I would listen to fucking Coast to Coast. It would come on literally at like 10 and 11 o'clock at night. I grew up kind of in the country. I would like pitch a tent on the edge of our property, actually like this big like wooded area, and just fucking put on these headphones on AM radio and listen to Coast AM, and it was the dude was
that's amazing.
I forget what his call sign was, something like blasting out of a Nevada desert like I forget, it was some weird bird like a sriracha out of the goddamn napalms or something. I forget what his thing was, but he broadcasted from this little fucking motorhome. Sorry,
you're good, dude.
In the Nevada desert.
I'm so high right now, dude.
And he would talk to people, Area 51, the alien abduction shit, paranormal, all that shit before it was like mainstream, before it was so easy to come across on the internet. And I was, probably 10, 11 years old, just letting this shit just blowing my mind. At some point, they got a caller. The guy claimed he was in a little Cessna flying over Area 51. And I remember Art Bell being like, okay, we're going to stay on the line with you. And then just like cut out all of a sudden.
Is that the famous line that they always play?
Probably. Most likely, yeah.
There's some guy who's like escaped from some shit. And he's like, oh, fucking, they're coming for me.
That might be. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I forget. Oh, yeah, might be it. Like, for me, and that's why it's kind of weird to see these guys that take it super seriously. I don't really watch YouTube videos or any of that. But all this conspiracy stuff is just fun, if nothing else. It's fun to just step back and imagine 100%. As if any of it's true. Yeah. Probably isn't 99% of it.
You just got to be like, hey, man, what if, dude?
What if?
What if, dude? You don't know.
It's a lot more fun to imagine what if than if not,
It's like They Live, fucking John Carpenter's They Live. Have you ever seen that movie?
Is that the one with Roddy?
Roddy
yeah, of course.
Yeah, fucking Keith David.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's life, dude. That's fucking life. Like that's John Carpenter's fucking. He's like, I've seen the inside. Yep. This is my message to the people. This is my message to the people right here. Fucking John Carpenter knows.
I'm going to deliver it through this Scottish pretending wrestler, Roddy Piper. He was great. Did you've heard Ari and them talk about it? I guess he spent the whole third act of his life hanging out at the Comedy Store and doing shit like that. People loved him. He would do skits with them and stuff.
I was just we were talking about because Ari just did that episode on SmackDown here at the side.
Did you listen to it?
I listened to it. Yeah, I totally listened to it. And he made mention about how fucking Roddy Piper was just like, oh no, this is your world. Like he had mad respect. Like humble. Yeah, he had so much respect, and he's humble as shit, dude. And it's like he was my all-time favorite professional wrestler, dude. Like, I'll say it on this episode, dude. Like, Roddy Piper is my all-time favorite professional wrestler.
It was great.
I listened to his podcast, like, those couple years.
Was it good?
Yeah, he goes on his rants, like, it's fun. And he'd have wrestlers on there and shit. And, it was good. But, it's like, I was really sad when he died. Like, there's not many people I get sad over.
I guess it was a heart attack. I went probably drugs.
Cardiac arrest. Well, it was a mixture. I mean, like all the cocaine.
And he had probably done steroids. He was weird. They were like he was in okay shape. He probably did steroids.
He did do steroids. They had like that Zapata, like when they got busted for all the steroids.
Was he involved in that?
Well, they had a receipt for that receipt going to him.
His signature.
So that's
Yeah, that shit. That's weird though, because he was never like a huge. You wouldn't if you say like what are the bodybuilding looking wrestlers, he would not be one that came up.
Yeah,
just the opposite. In fact,
well, it's like Bret Hart even did fucking I guess, steroids for a little bit in the 80s. Like
I guess everyone back then.
Everybody was on fucking steroids.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to admit it now because in retrospect, watching some of this stuff, I didn't really pick up on the homoeroticism of him. But my favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels.
Dude, I didn't fucking get.
You watch it now, it's like,
he was my favorite wrestler too. Dude.
I remember when there was he won after some pay-per-view. He's literally like stripping in the ring, and then they cut it off or something. I was like, wait, so we're supposed to believe that had they not cut it off, Shawn Michaels is about to just take off his pants? Like, what? He was just supposed to be a male stripper, I guess. I never picked up on that. It disturbs me that I never picked up. Maybe, I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah, it's like, oh, why did I like him? I thought he was cool. And now, as an adult watching it, I bet my dad never watched wrestling that I could think of, but grown men must have fucking hated him. No wonder he was
no wonder Bret Hart
I'm on Bret Hart's side now.
I know, dude. You look back, Bret Hart was a way better professional.
Way cooler, wrestler. Yeah. But Shawn Michaels is weird. I mean, nothing wrong. Shawn
Michaels is a little bitch.
If he wants to be a male stripper, it's fine. But I don't know why I would gravitated towards him so much.
We can admit it, dude. 20 years later, Shawn Michaels was a little bitch on WWE TV. I just watched him. I was just watching him on fucking that episode of Raw from '97, and because the reason I'm watching it is because I'll listen to fucking Bruce Pritchard's podcast, Something to Wrestle With.
Is it good? Never heard of it.
Well, okay, Bruce Pritchard is basically like the right hand man to Vince McMahon through the late '80s through the '90s through like the 2000s. So like that whole era. Camera? Well, he was Brother Love. You remember Brother Love? Yeah. So his brother fucking Love, dude.
That guy is red.
There's this dude named Conrad Thompson, and he does this whole fucking podcast network now of like all these old wrestling guys that we used to fucking like Eric Bischoff, fucking Tony Schiavone.
Yeah. Oh, Schiavone is. See, I liked the commentary.
Schiavone's funny,
it's weird, but the commentary, that old WCW stuff is good.
You should listen to Tony Schiavone's podcast, dude.
Oh, I bet.
He's dirty as shit.
Oh, really? That's
he is
funny.
Dirty as shit.
Who was it? It was Schiavone and Zabisco, right? Those two were together
Larry
at that time in WCW. They were interesting. And Bobby the Brain.
I liked Larry Zabisco.
I liked him too. He was likable. They were all likable, oddly. Although it shouldn't have worked. They were weird, but it was pretty good. Although I will say the DX, because my shit, like if it was one, like Shawn was probably my favorite, but then like the one thing that was my thing in wrestling was DX, like that early DX shit. In retrospect, it was pretty retarded also, but when you're a kid, when you're like a 13-year-old, when you're a 13-year-old kid, you're like, oh, they have that. It's so weird that it started the Rick Rude. It's so out of place.
It's just like fucking Montreal Screwjob happens and he's gone, dude.
Yeah, well, let's get rid of him. Not him.
Fuck you.
But yeah, the New Age Outlaws and all that shit. I mean, at the time when you were a 13-year-old fucking idiot, that was pretty cool. Now again, it's like you're as a grown man. It's like, what are they, Mr. Ass? What is that? It's so weird. Ass man. He's constantly just preening for the camera. It's like, what the fuck? But at the time, I guess it was cool.
They're fucking, dude. Like, well, it's like we were talking about, dude. It's like, it's like it was like an anti-PC culture, dude.
Absolutely.
It's like,
I mean, hard.
And we were kids growing up in that shit, dude.
Oh, yeah, so, that was and I think that's why. I mean,
like South Park, dude.
That's what I was just gonna bring up. Not that we can complain, blah blah blah, but that's why all this fucking. What do you want to call it? Political correct new wave stuff is tough on 30-year-old men like us, because it's like we grew up in South Park and the Attitude Era, and like even The Simpsons, Bart Simpson, Eat My Shorts, like that's what shaped us and our sense of humor. And now you're saying that none of that's allowed, so it's like
South Park's always done it very like in such a good like I don't know. It's not to say it was bad taste, but it's like good taste, because like it's still
smart,
raunchy as shit.
Right?
They're very smart about it.
They were able to stay kind of above the fray, and I think it was they must have like a 50-year contract with Comedy Central.
Well, they just re-signed to like through like I think like another at least 4 or 5 seasons.
Is that what it is? And like at some point, probably in the 90s or whatever, they were like the most profitable thing they ever had, because it just seems like they were always untouchable. Like there's never been any talk really about canceling South Park.
Unless it was the Mohammed episode.
That's what I was just gonna say. That was the only one where there was that, and that was more like, well, our fucking studios might get blown up, and then I guess you're canceled if that happens. But other than that, they've managed to stay kind of above the fray of all this, which God bless them.
Commencements to them, dude, for sure, dude.
I always go back to, remember, I mean, it's years ago. I don't watch it on a regular basis, but I remember right around the time of the introduction of like PC Principle and stuff, I watched like that season, and I probably won't remember, but there's like 2 old guys leaning on a fence like in a field. And I was like,
I love that's like
another wave of political correctness, huh? He's like, yep. He's like,
how long's this gonna last?
Yeah, we're reckon about 5 years. Like, yeah. And God willing, that is what we'll see. Hopefully we're at the tail end of it now, but I don't know.
I think we still got a ways to go.
We might have another 5 years, but we'll see.
It's like a decade process because like what was the last like PC? It was like what, late 80s, right?
I suppose, yeah, but that came from like the Christian coalition, and that came from like
we were like the 80s though. Then dude, it's like we weren't even like able to like. We weren't even like. There's nothing we could say. I was like, I'm fucking watching Ninja Turtles and like Transformers and
that's like when
G.I. Joe.
When Nancy Reagan was going against NWA and stuff.
Yeah, like the parental advisory fucking stickers that came out of that
stuff. So that's
crazy.
It was similar, but it was coming from I guess like Christians, and now this shit's coming from.
Well, it's kind of weird because when you look at it, dude, because like I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like waves. It's kind of flipped, dude. It's kind of flipped.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
For what the conservative Republican that used to represent like a Christian value, you know, a moral high ground type thing, and it's like, you know, now you get like the, you know, it's flipped to where it's like the leftist culture is, you know, it's like, you know, now they're the ones that are like, hey, can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. And if you're not down with that, well, fuck you, cancel culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm not against you. I'm not against you. I'm just here to be a human being. Yeah. I just want to hang out and smoke some weed and drink some beers. Like, people have sense of humor. It's like, I guess, I don't know. Like, whatever, dude. It's like, you know, it's like leave and let live, you know? Because, like, you're talking about Libertarian Party, dude. It's like, that's what I fucking throw down on, dude. I throw down on the fucking Libertarian. Libertarian Party.
Yeah, or at the very least, like
those values, at least.
Yeah, the what they I guess would
not necessarily like the party, but the values of like
values.
Live and let live, dude. Like I'm gonna live my life, you live your life. I'm not gonna interfere with what you do, but like when people start telling you you can't do this, you can't do that, it's like you're being like an authoritarian figure on my individuality, and I can't put up with that. Like you gotta push back. You can't just be like, oh well, no, that's right. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude.
You said the key word right there, like, individuality. Individuals. That's what, like, we're missing with all this, like, identity politics bullshit where that's like what they fucking do in prison, where it's like, okay, you have to pick your race. Now, you're with your race. No matter what decision your race makes, you have to stick with it. You have to back it. It's like, the fuck? I don't care what some... The whole idea of America is we're all individuals.
Well, I've never judged anybody based on the color of their skin or anything like that. I base them on if they're an asshole or not.
Of course.
If you're an asshole to me, then guess what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
But if you're not an asshole, well, hey, we could be friends. You know, like
I mean, that's 99%.
If you're down with Tom Atkins, we can be friends, buddy.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Especially
know.
like real people, blue collar people that are working. I had a job as a dishwasher. You work next to like white trash people and Mexican people and black people.
Everybody.
If you were a fucking stupid racist that couldn't get along with people, you wouldn't be able to even hold down a job. You'd be getting in fights and shit. It's like any normal person.
No one's gonna put up with that.
We've had neighbors of all sorts of different colors. No one cares about anything other than if you're a good neighbor in the real world. Yeah. On the internet, everyone wants to divvy up into their groups and shit. But
that's what I fucking commend you on. You're fucking not on Facebook, dude. Like,
I mean, I'm gonna get on just
100%,
to communicate
dude.
with you guys and stuff. Because fucking last week, I guess this is fine to mention. Jaime, no one. I remember at that open mic, I was like, someone should remind Jaime that he's hosting on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And I blame myself because I didn't seek him out and
tell him.
No one told him, and he ended up showing up late, and I felt bad. Huck still ended up hosting, but I felt bad. I was like, fuck, I should have told him.
Well, luckily enough, Huck's fucking there to catch it.
Yeah, it was fine. But if I was on Facebook, I could at least message him. So I'm gonna at least maybe. I don't want to be on it in the sense that not on it, but it seems like it's good at least to communicate with people and stuff.
The only reason I fucking keep it around is basically for the simple fact of like I have to promote this podcast. I have to get a hold of the majority of the people I book through the podcast is through Messenger. So it's like,
and that's it. That's the whole point, right? I mean, it is a Pandora's box, but if you can just use it just enough. I mean, that's what I mean. Did you listen to Ari's podcast? I think it was just a whole solo podcast where he took like the digital vacation.
Yeah, he went like 30, like what, like a month,
something like that, basically. And he was talking about how basically like you can use this stuff to your advantage, especially if you want to, if you have things to promote and shit like that. But you have to walk that fine line of not letting it completely take over your fucking life.
Well, you just gotta put it down and be like, oh, I'm not gonna touch it.
Yep, post it. Say I got a new podcast, and that's it.
Fuck.
It's so weird, man. I mean, everyone's talked about it, but you catch yourself just like you're just like scrolling.
Dude,
I'm not reading anything. I have a million things I have to do. What the fuck am I doing? It's so weird.
It's horrible.
I try. I'm not really on it too much, luckily, and I 100% luckily never I mean, can you imagine being born into this shit? That's the scary shit. We were so lucky to be, I guess, probably the last generation to remember. And I know many people would say, "Oh, that's fucking stupid old man bullshit," but like,
you fucking old man, Jay.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Jay
You're not
McNay,
looking.
you're fucking old man.
Slow. I don't even know how to type, so they're right. I am stuck in the past, and I'm gonna die.
Hella fast,
I literally, I remember being in like middle school, like, why would I ever need to learn this? This is a fad that's. They
started
die
teaching us in like 6th grade, dude.
Yep,
yeah.
and I did not pay attention.
Oh no.
But that said, kids that are born into it now, where it's just like, to me, it still feels like something that's a part of normal. There's the normal world, and then there's like the internet. To them, when you're born into it, it's just like, well, that's the internet. This is the collective consciousness of the world, I guess.
That's so scary that you say that, dude.
They just
that's fucking John Carpenter shit,
but that's
dude.
what they accept. It's like, well, what does the internet say about it? The internet says this is bad, so I guess it's bad. And maybe they're right and I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. It feels wrong.
It's like we talk about, like, we start the podcast off talking about how you're nice enough to bring alien films into my house. And, like, that's where we're going towards, man. Like, the singular fucking form,
Xenoflex or whatever.
You're gonna fucking, they're gonna boost it into our brain, dude, and then, like, you know, it just controls you. And it's
well, that is the future. There'll be no. It'll be part of you. It'll be part of all of us.
You gotta fight back, dude. That's where you gotta fight back. You gotta fight back now.
I guess.
You gotta fight back now, Jay McNay.
That sounds like I do not encourage any sort of fighting back in case the FBI is listening. Yeah, a passive.
You push back. You push back gently.
What is that? The Quakers that just don't participate.
Well, no. This is what you do. Okay, this is what you do. You drink beer, you smoke weed, and then you talk shit on a podcast. And that's how it is.
That's all anyone can do.
That's how you push back, dude. That's it.
And when the fucking Terminators come out, you don't buy
no violence over here, guys. No violence over here.
Passive resistance, like
passive
Gandhi.
resistance.
Yeah, to the AI. And they'll just slowly liquefy us into batteries.
They're just gonna go by, and then we're like, "No, they can't see me." Then fucking Terminator.
Yep.
Fucking
like the Matrix,
razor.
They just liquefy us and suck us out with the hose.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Then we'll be in peace.
I never made it through the Matrix movies.
The first one's the only one that's even worth making it through, right?
I'll watch like the first 20 minutes and I get bored.
The first
every fucking time I watch the first 20 minutes. Right? I don't know. Ever since I was a kid. I don't know
what happens, but
ever since that movie came out back in like when we were kids, like 2000 or whatever. I don't know. I guess they're supposed to be making more.
Who knows?
They're making another Bill and Ted.
It's not the same. I don't even know if. I don't even watch most of the movies nowadays. Especially all the remakes. Although I was listening to Dan Aykroyd on Rogan coming up here.
I didn't make it all the way through that one.
Did you listen to?
I listened to some of it.
How far
I
did
probably
you get
listened
through?
to like 45 minutes.
That dude, speaking of conspiracy, that motherfucker believes everything. That was so funny. He just believes all of it.
I was at least hoping you were going to talk a little bit about Ghostbusters, but
they touched on it a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
Eventually, he said that they're working on writing one. It was funny to hear him talk about the reason he wrote it was because his family was into like all that paranormal shit and stuff.
Oh, the original reason?
Yeah, he just offhandedly, it says in that, he's like, oh yeah, I wrote Ghostbusters because my family's farmhouse was, visited by ghosts. And Rogan was like, that's why you wrote Ghostbusters? Like,
oh yeah, this is factual. This is factual shit that we have on record.
Man, he's got a lot of weird stories. That's great though. He's a weird dude.
I love Dan Aykroyd, dude.
Oh, he's great.
I was telling my wife earlier today, one of my favorite movies ever is Caddyshack.
Yeah,
Caddyshack is a fucking classic film.
That is an amazing, like, catching lightning.
Bill
Have
Murray.
you heard this? All the like background
banging
stories
bitches
and stuff,
on set, dude. He was like there for like
Rodney,
what?
Dangerfield.
6 days.
What's that?
Bill Murray was there for like what, 6 days or some shit.
Something,
He was like really quick. He had to get in and out, and they were talking about how like the first days on set, he was banging one of the lead actresses.
Yep. They found him, like, they were looking for him on set. Who knows, man? They found him in the sand trap.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
That's a good story to me.
It's a great story.
Yeah. And Rodney Dangerfield at that time was like, it's funny how he is, I mean, I guess it's not a secret, but you hear all these stories after the fact about how he was, went as hard in the paint, drug and alcohol and all that shit wise as anybody. So he's probably fucked up 24/7 during the filming. Chevy was at like the height of him being like, a drug-addled rock star. So and then like this, like, because that was written by the National Lampoon guys too. Have you ever seen those documentaries?
I haven't seen the documentary.
There's something on. I forget if it's a doc. Well, did you see that? There's two that came out really like close to each other, like a year or two ago.
I don't think I've seen any of the documentaries.
They're really good. They're probably still just lingering around, not on the front page of Netflix. I imagine if it was on that, but it was like one of them was called like Fat. What was it like? Fat. You have to look it up, but Fat, Dumb, Drunk, and Stoned or something like that.
So it's
it was
like, describe my life. Jeez,
yeah,
come on.
Basically. And it was like, and that was the National Lampoon guys. How it started as like the magazine at, I guess, Harvard. Was it Harvard National Lampoon?
I think you're right.
Yeah, one of those like Ivy League schools, and then went on to become like Caddyshack, and the writer of Caddyshack, I guess, either committed suicide or was murdered or something shortly after the filming, and then like there was this whole like, yeah, it's like they go.
That's why I gotta see the documentary. Dude.
It's interesting, man. It's crazy. It was a time when those guys were really, like John Belushi fucking dying from a speedball, and it was a time where those fucking guys were real. Like,
they lived
rock
hard,
stars,
dude.
Man, it was
They lived
crazy.
hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to a point in my life where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try heroin.
No,
I'm gonna shoot up some fucking heroin and some crack cocaine or something.
No, the thing to say growing up was always like, well, I'll wait until like I get cancer or whatever, or like, until I get like to be 80, and then when I make it that long, I'm just gonna like start doing heroin. And it's like, well, that's good if you're only gonna live another week, but actually, from what I've seen, the life of a heroin addict is not a fun one. So
I don't know if like that's my drug of choice though.
No,
It's like
it seems pretty goddamn horrible.
Yeah.
But did you see Artie? Have you followed the Artie Lang saga
His
at all?
fucking nose, dude. I see that picture,
man.
dude. I'm just like,
I love Artie. I mean, I was a big fan.
Yeah.
I never really listened to Stern, but I've always followed him. I love his books. I love his stand-up. Like he used to do a radio show called Nick and Artie with Nick DiPaolo, which was great. And to see him go through and yeah, I guess he's sober now finally, but fuck, I mean, talked about a crazy story,
yeah, right.
dude. And yeah, his nose just completely is gone now from snorting too much of everything up it. And it's just, that's a cautionary tale, I guess, of life on the road, but fuck, man.
you're just like, hey, bitch. You don't want to fucking end up like Artie Lang with a caved-in nose now, do you?
I guess not. I'm sure he planned on being dead by now. That's what everyone says. That's what all
like,
these.
fuck.
It's like, why am I not dead?
I mean, maybe he just serves a purpose of some kind. The cautionary tale, like you said.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he lived a crazy life, and whatever happens from this point on, we'll see what happens. But yeah, he has his first book, Too Fat to Fish. It's pretty high. Back when there was a time when like I was just getting into podcasts and like not listening to AM radio. I used to just listen to AM radio at work, so, like just Mariners games, which would slowly drive you insane because it's the same commercials. Like the games are fun.
I thought you were just gonna say fucking the amount of like losing seasons that you've had to put up with.
Like the same thing in and out. It's just like
yeah.
By the third inning, they're behind 14-0.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh god, I have 4 more hours of my
this
shift.
This year's been fucking bad, dude. This year's been horrible.
I only very tangentially follow it anymore. Like I love it, and if I ever get a chance to go to a game, I do. But it's like, who has time to follow?
Well, I'll listen like on my drive to work.
Yeah.
I'll listen to Brock and Salk in the morning.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
so
7:10.
Yeah, I'll just fucking. Which apparently they're fucking not going to be doing a fucking show anymore.
Oh, that's too bad. They've been on for a long time. I haven't listened to it for a long time. I used to listen to that all the time.
Well, fucking Brock Heward's like doing commentary for the college football on Fox.
Oh, really? Well, that's good for him though. Like the national.
Yeah,
show.
national. He got picked up for a national job.
Yeah, I think I've seen him on there a couple times.
And then Mike Salk, I guess, he's just like, he runs that whole fucking station, 710.
Is it really?
Yeah. I remember back in the day, dude, like when I was delivering pizza, like my buddy Parker, like okay, so like I've known this guy since like 2011, and like I joined his fantasy football league, dude, and like 9 years later we're still fucking doing this shit, dude.
Nice.
And it's like,
how's your team doing this year?
oh fuck, dude. Actually, we're doing pretty good, 2-1.
Who's your quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers.
That's not bad.
And then we have Patrick Mahomes on the other team that I have,
that's nice.
which I'm letting my kids run.
Oh, there you go.
I'm letting my kids run that one.
Nice.
So. They're not really doing anything for it. Like, and I haven't even really touched it. I'm lucky that I'm 2-1 right now.
Do they even keep up? Do they at least have?
I let them do the draft.
Yeah.
And they drafted Miami for their defense, which is like the worst fucking defense.
Generally speaking, that's
and
never
they drafted
a good
like
call.
3 quarterbacks and like 2 kickers, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah, you didn't really follow the whole running back, wide receiver formula that I gave you.
We had a game plan, kids.
But it was first year out, so it's like, I don't care what you do with this team. Because, like, these guys that because I have two teams. I have the guys that am in, like, from when I used to deliver pizza.
Yeah.
And so I've been with those guys for a long time. And I've only won the championship one fucking year, dude.
That's not bad.
One
though.
year
In
I just
9
won.
years?
Yeah.
How many teams are there?
Like 12.
So
Yeah.
could be worse.
It's a mixture between Washington State and New Mexico.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, it's pretty... I don't know.
It's tough though.
There's
12
like
teams, so it's like you gotta actually kind of pay attention to get good players.
It could be less. That just shows how much I'm not paying attention to it.
You know? 6 to 12.
6 to 12. Well, there's a little bit more than 6. I know. I'm pretty sure it's like at least 8 to 10, 12.
Yeah, something like that.
You know. But like, so there's that, and then there's people like within, here in Yakima that I'm friends with, like Ray and Eric. I'm gonna call those motherfuckers out right now, and Zach. I'm gonna call those motherfuckers. I call them out every fucking episode. They don't listen to this shit. Like, and so, I've been doing it with them. So this year, what the whole thing is like every year I'm like, hey, in my pizza delivery league, like we always throw down $25.
Nice.
Every year, So basically, it's just charitable donation, So this one, I'm like, hey, let's at least throw down $10. Like let's make this fucking worth
$100 or so at least.
Yeah, something. And then you join it, and Zach and Ray are always like, oh, join our fucking league. And I'm like, all right, I'll join your fucking league. And every fucking year, Zach has the first pick in the draft.
Oh, I heard that. And he mysteriously is the one that runs.
He's the one that runs it. And, I don't blame him. Like, I don't, because I just know that it's like, he's not paying attention either. Because, like, I know I've only ran as commissioner 1 year. And I know you have to set as random. There's a specific setting, so I'm just sure that he doesn't go in there and it doesn't change the setting. Sure. So it just automatically puts him up front because he's the commissioner. So I don't blame him, but I just call it out every time.
How many times has he won the championship?
Not every time.
Not every time. Well, that's good at least.
I'm trying to think of
completely not fixed.
Yeah, it's not 100% fixed.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I did that a couple years. Have you ever done basketball fantasy?
I've never done any other fantasy besides football.
It's interesting.
But I've heard. There's fantasy for everything.
I've done that a couple. I did basketball a couple years and football a couple years, but I haven't done either of them for a while. It's interesting. It takes some time. I guess not too much. Either of them, as far as just keeping up on. It's like every day, and the injuries, and even football though. If you're trying to like manage,
you really got to be doing it every day because you really got to be committed to that shit to really be running the waiver wire and shit, and actually like pulling shit off and like getting the people that they're talking about. They're like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, you gotta like listen to this shit. I remember the year I did it. I subscribed to a couple like podcasts, like fantasy podcasts, and listened to them. But it's like.
You gotta be, but
at one point, it's like, what am I doing here?
And then there's other people out there that are listening to the same shit, so you're just like, you just have to be quick.
And it's just, and then it all.
And you have to be on the waiver wire in the fucking certain position.
Yeah, and it just is a fucking roll of the dice anyway. At the end of the day, it's like some fucking.
But if you win,
can do great.
If you fucking win, though, you got bragging rights for days, son.
That's true.
At least until next Sunday.
And it does make watching the random games that you normally wouldn't care about.
100%.
Fun. Like the fucking 100%. Thursday night game or something you normally wouldn't care about. It's like it's kind of fun if you got. Yeah, there you go.
3 fucking guys. I know. It's like this week. It's Green Bay. What is it? Fucking Green Bay. Who was the other fucking team?
I hate to be a bitch, but can I take a piss again?
Now we're back. Now we're back on the podcast.
Blasting out of the Yakima Valley.
Jay McNay.
A thunderbird.
Welcome back after your pee break. It's been a fun podcast, dude.
Nice. I was holding that. I don't know what I said for the last 5 minutes because I was thinking like, oh, I gotta pee.
I'm so high. Like I'm sitting here. You're like, oh, I don't know what I've said. I'm like, I don't know what I've said either, man. Like
high on life. Bosses, what do you call the people that that employ you? Whoever may employ me in the future.
Oh, dude, no one even knows, dude. It's all secret identities, dude.
That's right.
Secret identities. Secrets.
So speaking of embarrassing secrets, I did want to ask, take me through your journey through what I understand is first public access and then the comedy scene in the Yakima Valley.
Well, yeah, man, it was just because we were talking about the computer before we started recording.
Right.
Yeah, man, I started doing like YV Tech back in like You know, like Mark Christopher, dude. Mark Christopher did YB Tech back in the day too, like in '98 or some shit.
What does that mean? What is
Yeah, well,
YB
YB
Tech?
Tech's like a tech school, like for high school.
Okay.
And then like if
So like
you were
while you're still in high school?
well, people outside of high school can take it too, but you got to pay for it at that point. But if you're in high school, you could do 2 years.
Oh, nice.
And which is all you need for most grades to get some sort of like, so like 11th, 10th, 11th. Well, I'm sorry. I'm really high. 11th and 12th grade.
You better be fast.
11th and
Get it
12th
right.
grade. 11th and 12th grade, we were you were eligible, so I was able to take video production like 2 years, and like so I started learning on like MacBook,
Well, that's
Apple
cool that you
computers.
even knew.
I learned
that.
Final Cut, so
That's cool that you even knew that you wanted. So what inspired you? So at that time, so what year would that have been? Like fucking. When did you what year did you graduate?
that was
high
like
school?
04. That was like 04, 05.
Yeah. So what were you watching? I think at that time I was watching shit like was that like the Man Show,
Chappelle
Insomniac?
Show.
Was that
Chappelle
Chappelle?
Show.
Oh, I mean, fucking.
That was a major influence.
So you were that's funny. Yeah. Did you watch SNL growing up?
I did. I watched like the shit from the 90s and then
Yeah. But at that time, yeah, I mean, Chappelle Show, I mean, still is one of the greatest things of all time. It's so amazing how great that fucking show is.
Dude, Dave Chappelle is like by far like
It's
is
so
definitely the
amazing.
best stand-up comic today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I that's not even my, yeah, I don't know. Not my place to say. It's certainly one of them. But
Yeah.
if nothing else, I mean, those Prince skits and stuff, it's some of the funniest shit that's ever been on TV, ever recorded. It's amazing. Like, and I guess a lot of that credit goes to Charlie Murphy, because that guy.
Wow, yeah,
What a
that's
storyteller,
when it
huh?
really stepped it up. I mean, that's what totally got
Oh
him.
man, those cut scenes to
Yeah.
have a guy that was actually there, and then that the humor of scene. But anyway, so that's partly what inspired you, and you started doing those classes with the intent of making a sketch show.
Well, like yeah, it wasn't really like that wasn't like really what we set out to do at first, but it was like my second year there, like it was like springtime, and like we really weren't doing anything in class, so I was just like, I was at home one day and I was with my friend Trent and his like girlfriend Carissa, and we were just sitting there watching like I don't know, the Daily Show or some shit,
Yeah.
like, and like Conan O'Brien. We watched a lot of Conan O'Brien back then too.
He was pushing the limits as far as
Yeah.
what a talk show was, and
So
with skits and stuff.
yeah, so it was like Conan O'Brien meets Dave Chappelle. It's like, oh, let's do a TV show, and like,
Sure, why not,
You know,
huh?
and so I like in our class we had to write up like little production sheets. But, like, so I wrote it up like the pre-production sheet and gave it to my teacher, and he approved it. Mm-hmm. So like we just had everybody show up during class. Like one day, dude, everybody just shows up, and we just rolled into the studio, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on?" And like. We're just like, oh, we're doing a TV show. They're like, what TV show? We're like,
yeah.
spin this, Kevin Porter, bitch. and so like they're just like freaked out, dude. And we're
Nice.
like, "Arr," we're like, "Arr," and like
So
we're
you
like,
had some sketches prepared and shit?
no, we had nothing. We had nothing prepared.
We had the title, at least, obviously, right? You worked on the title all night.
I think we came up with the title just because of Bill O'Reilly, because it was he was always
O'Reilly.
like, because
Oh,
like
that's
when we
right, he
grew
was,
up,
yeah.
it was like we were like anti-Bush, dude. Like we were
Right.
anti fucking Bush, dude. In
were
high school,
brainwashed,
it was
yeah.
fucking
Brainwashed by the
vehemently
Daily Show.
against the Iraq War, against
fucking
fucking
hippies.
September 11th,
You
dude.
filthy hippies.
Motherfuckers, like oh my god.
Sure, that was
100%.
That was the feel of post.
Oh, I was
2001,
anti-Bush
obviously,
in
yeah.
high school, dude. I was a Viet Democrat. When
Remember
I
how much everyone
growing
loved
up.
him right after 9/11, though. After he threw
well,
that,
until we went to
that
fucking
pitch,
war with Iraq, dude.
that
until-
perfect strike, he was the man for a minute there, man.
For a
Everyone was like,
moment.
yes, I'm getting an American flag for my car, and then everyone turned on him.
It's like, yeah, well, I guess you in England could just roll into fucking Iraq and just
Yeah.
fucking fuck shit
Just
up.
sell it to Halliburton. I guess that'll turn your people on you. Anyway,
Yeah, well, Dick Cheney made a lot of fucking money there, Jay. Dick Cheney made a lot of fucking money.
I remember I didn't play it a lot. That's on a tangent. Never mind. Go ahead. What were
Okay,
you saying?
okay, but so we just showed up and like we had a bunch of like news stories because the idea was like, oh, we'll just report news stories.
Like a Daily Show. Daily
And then
Show
like we'll
inspired.
take the news stories and we'll like form a sketch to it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we'll make some sort of sketch.
Not bad.
So like we just
SNL-ish.
show up and like we had a house band. We had
Oh yeah.
and so like the first like we were there during class and like nothing happened. Like whatever we recorded, it was not worth
So you
using.
brought a band into class?
Yeah, because my friend Eric was in a band called PUA back in the day,
Well, that's
previously
unemployed.
unannounced.
Oh,
Because we used to like back when we were in high school, dude. There was like, you ever go to the Zone?
No one cares. I'm never gonna be. I've already given up any. Well, Mark Norman
Now
was
we're
just
back.
on
Now
Rogan.
we're back.
He's our age, and
Yeah.
like he's there's no success here. It's too late for success. We're just having fun. So
We're just having
one's,
fun at
No one's
this
gonna hunt
point.
me down. I'm
We're
never
just
getting
having fun.
SNL. No one's
Yeah.
gonna kick me off SNL. So
So-
it doesn't really matter. I just been an idiot.
But Eric,
anyway, so you used
yeah.
to go to the Zone and rock
Yeah,
out.
no, it was Eric had a band. Eric had a band, and so we would always go there on the weekends, and like local bands would play. Two-Headed Chang, Fiasco.
I have heard of Two-Headed Chang. I remember
Two-Headed
that when I
Chang was
a kid.
from
Yeah, they
yeah,
must have been.
Yep,
From the
yep.
fabled land.
That the fabled land, Narnia.
Fucking idiot. I'm a retard.
They're gonna fucking Narnia, dude.
Anywho, a lot of local bands playing there at the Zone.
Yeah. So the idea was like, because Conan O'Brien had a house band.
Yeah, of course they did. Yeah, everyone had a house band, right? Even
Yeah.
SNL had like a house band.
Yeah,
It was cool.
so we just fucked around basically, and then like we didn't do anything that first day, and then like they ended up letting us like come back after hours
Nice.
and actually
work
like
something out.
Yeah, they let us like work it out and like shoot, and
Well, I guess that's essentially it was like an improv. Well, it doesn't have to be an improv team, but there's Manic Thunder. Was Manic Thunder in town at that point?
no, not technically, but yeah, like I
Similar.
fucking,
If it was going to be a stage, so was your idea for it to be a stage show or to be like a TV show?
Well, it was a public access show.
Okay, yeah. So, but you filmed it.
Yes, well, it was YV Tech, and like what the TV station that we ran was Yes TV.
Oh, interesting.
So that was channel 12.
I wish I would have been able to watch it. Do this?
Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten it over there.
I would like to see
I'm sure
those
if you
tapes.
go to like
Post
YV
them.
Tech, I'm sure if you went to YV Tech, but technically speaking, I think the episodes are online. Like
Are
if
they
you go
somewhere?
if you go to YCTV's website,
Oh yeah,
you
That'd be
can actually
interesting.
find them.
Are you familiar at all with Brody Stevens? He's
Yeah,
dead
no,
now.
I know that fucking crushed me when he fucking killed himself,
That
dude.
was so great. And I guess he was big in like the Seattle. What's it called again?
Open mic.
No, the TV version of Open Mic, Public Access.
Oh, yeah.
The
No,
Seattle
you're
Public
right. You're
Access
right, he
shit.
was.
So I watched his memorial from the Comedy Store, and they did it. And there was this guy, I forget what his name was, but I guess he was huge for a while. Like he was well known in Seattle in like the late '90s and shit on this Public Access stuff, which just remind me, it is a cool. It's so forgotten now, but it is a cool venue. And venue's not the right word, but a place to put out some shit. Did you ever get in trouble? Did anyone ever take
Yeah.
umbrage? Oh yeah, almost every week.
Well, okay, so there was a transition period in 2005 when we left Yes TV because technically I graduated, and the last episode that we put out technically got pulled off the channel.
So what?
Because we did this round table thing where like we had like a bunch of people that like dropped out of school.
Was Brandon Allen a part of this?
Yeah, he
Anyone I know?
was.
So Brandon
He
Allen.
was. He
Anyone
actually
else I know?
was, dude.
I love Brandon Allen, by the
sister
way.
was
I
on
think he
there.
might actually listen to some of these. And can we just give a quick shout out to, real quick, before I forget? Yeah, to
He
Brandon.
doesn't listen unless he's
Brandon
on it.
Allen
Unless
for
he's
sure.
on it, he doesn't listen.
Also Jaime though, because I was listening back because I've
Yeah.
listened to all of like the last couple months. I was looking for a podcast earlier of this that I hadn't
Yeah.
listened to, so I went back to an older one of Jaime's. That motherfucker. I mean, if I can be so grandiose to think of us as anything, which we're not. He would be our Joey Diaz, man. He is our young Joey
Yeah, I've
Diaz.
thought about that,
His
too.
stories
Yeah,
and his like
100%.
thoughts on things. I was listening to the podcast where he's talking about like his theories as far as like when a cop pulls behind him, he's like, "Oh, I make my friend laugh," so then they know that it looks like we're having fun. It's like he has like these like life theories that remind me of like Joey, But anyway, so you,
Yeah.
Brandon, and a couple dudes doing round
So like
tables.
we did this roundtable discussion about like the Yakima School District on
good.
the Yakima School
No one's gonna
District's
care about
fucking
that.
station. Well, it was on their station, and we were
PTA
talking
moms
shit
don't
though.
get
We were
offended
talking
easily.
shit. We were talking shit about their school district about Ben Soria, who was the
all
superintendent at the time.
dropouts. That's actually a hilarious
Yeah,
concept.
so
A
we had all these
dropout
dropouts
roundtable?
on there. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
It was
That's
just a
really
bunch of
good.
little kids bitching, dude. Because
That's
like
really
we're all
good.
like 18, 19,
That's funny.
17. Like we're
It'd be
all
funny to get all those people together now that you're in your 30s and see how that all worked out for you.
probably not very well.
Not great, no, but I'm here too, so I'm not
But,
judging.
like-
Not judging.
Well, anyway, like we were leaving anyway. They pulled the episode, so it's not like that I could get in trouble for
We
it.
were leaving it.
We were leaving. We
were leaving anyway,
We only did 2
motherfuckers.
episodes
We didn't even
there,
wanna
dude.
be here.
We only did 2 episodes there, but we took it to the public access station here in Yakima, and that's where we started. And then like they have edit bays there, so like I would just go down there like I would basically work my jobs that I would have days off during the week and just work weekends. And like get up early as fuck just to get off, like so I can like go to the studio at like 3:00 in the afternoon. And we would just fucking lay down sketches. I mean, we would just go in there and it was just all about not giving a fuck, dude. That's what our fucking public access show was all about, dude. It was all about not giving a fuck.
That's awesome.
And just doing it. And that's what we did. And we did it for 9 years.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
To me, the most amazing thing about that is just the drive and the will. Because I'm the fucking idiot that spent my entire 20s thinking like, oh, I should fucking do an open mic. I should do a podcast. I should fucking do something with my life instead of just fucking
we did podcasts in 2006,
games.
dude. Like we were doing we did Spin This Radio back on MySpace, dude.
So what do you like? What do you think gave you that drive? Why do you think?
I was. That's
just always you just.
When I was a kid, dude, I just wanted to fucking like hang out with the cool kids and do drugs. You know, like that was it.
That
dude.
I can understand.
That was all it was. It was like,
but that's not what that is.
I want to hang out with people in
working.
bands and stuff. Like I found people that were in bands and like I hung out with those people and we smoked weed. We fucking drank beer.
So you were having fun while you were doing it, is what
we had a lot of fun, dude. I mean, those early years, man, there was a lot of people associated with like doing public access and shit. Like when we were doing, because like there was Josh Hodgins, and then there was us, and as far as I know, there hasn't been anybody really since.
Yeah. What was Josh? I've never heard. What is his
Josh
thing?
Hodgins, he was a local legend in terms of like, he did a public access show back in the 90s. Like before us. Focused, so we started in 2005, and he probably ended in like 2002, 2003.
Interesting.
He's gone on to do other things.
Yeah.
But,
was it comedic in generally speaking? Attempts to be comedic?
Like, I don't know. Depending on who you're talking to.
Is Murdering Kittens comedic? I don't know what it's...
Depends on who you're talking to, but nonetheless...
was that his goal, you think?
I don't know.
But
like, it was like, I don't know.
That's not a good sign.
I don't know. I stopped
what was his goal?
I don't know. Like, I stopped being aware of that, like, a long time ago.
That's funny. So what led you into stand-up after that?
Well, it was like, you bring up Manic Thunder, and... as we were doing our public access show through Josh, because I met Josh Hodgins because he was doing this TV show called Jackson Horn, and it was on Fox.
Interesting.
Regionally, and so I met.
What kind of was it? A drama or like a sitcom?
Yeah, it was like Party of Five type shit, like real fucking corny shit, dude. Like
he was acting or he was writing on it.
He acted on it. He was Jackson Horn, dude. He was the lead guy, and like he directed, wrote. And so I got hired on as the assistant director.
Interesting.
Back in like this is that summer as we were getting kicked off Yes TV. I was so we were doing the pilot episode where we did the pilot episode, and then we were going into the season. And so we did the pilot episode, and then as we were going into the season, he was like, oh hey, fucking assistant director, and I was like, basically just bitch boy. That's all it fucking is, dude. Like you're just bitch boy running around. Assistant.
You can put director on there if you want, I guess.
Yeah, but
what
still,
are you in your early 20s?
At this like time? 19, dude.
You're like 19?
I was like 19,
How,
but
is
like
this guy like older?
Yeah, he's like I don't know, 5-6 years old. Like, cause he was doing his show in like the late 90s.
Right. So he was like established, and you were like, yeah, this younger dude.
Yeah. So I'm just coming out of high school and shit. But me and my wife. Well, she wasn't my wife then, but like we got pregnant with our first child
at 19.
At 19.
How old is your oldest kid?
He's gonna be 14.
Damn,
in a couple months.
Crazy.
And like so, she's pregnant. I don't have a job or anything. I'm not really doing shit. Like, I'm pretty loser fucking status, dude, at this point. 19-year-old.
Preaching to the choir here, baby boy.
I'm doing a public access show. That's it, dude.
That's
like,
more
at least I'm doing something.
19. I was washing dishes.
Nothing wrong with that, dude. There's nothing wrong with washing dishes, man. That is a fucking commendable. I love it, though. I love washing dishes.
I should have saved the money. Then it would have been. I actually didn't mind. It's not bad.
It was a good time spent. Those are good times spent.
It actually wasn't bad.
It was a good time spent.
That's for another podcast.
So, like, I'm going along that summer, and I'm like, we're doing shit, and it's kind of coming along that he's not going to pay me. And he's like, well, you got to work free. And I'm like, oh, well, I can't really work free right now. I'm fucking going to have a kid. So I had to get a real job. And so that's basically, then from there, just continued the public access show. I was like, well, I want to keep doing this shit. And it's never, like, obviously you're always like, maybe one day, if somebody's going to hear it. And you never know. But at the same time, it's like just laying down the memories, and like it's like I tell Jessica all the time, I'm like, yeah, when I'm fucking dead, people are gonna be able to go back and like listen to like as bad as it was, at least it's there.
It's not. Yeah, that's true, but it's also, I mean, it's the war of art shit, man. It's about creating. It's about just
War of Arts, man. I read that book, dude.
I know. I've heard you mention that in the past. That is, I still read that book. I read it like I'll just pick it up and just like read it.
I need to read it
here
again,
and there, 'cause
dude.
it's just so
I need to read it
inspiring,
again.
that type of shit. Where it's like, and that's what it's all about. It's just you're creating because it's better to create. It's better to do what we've been doing for the last hour or whatever than to sit and watch Netflix. I mean, that's fun sometimes also, but like, it's better to get on stage and to try to work on a set or something just for your own, at least for mine.
That's
maybe
scary
everyone
shit,
else.
I fucking dude. That's
well,
so
okay.
scary.
So how did you? So what transitioned you into stand up then?
Oh yeah. That's right. You did ask me that. Fucking. So Aaron Bennett. Like I was introduced to Aaron Bennett by Josh Hodgins. So Aaron
Bennett's the dude that he was in Manic Thunder.
He was in Manic
and he
Thunder.
worked
Well,
at
this is
Fred
before
Meyer,
Manic Thunder.
and he posted that video of him quitting. That's that guy, right?
Yeah,
okay.
that's,
I was just trying to.
that's Aaron Bennett.
And he does
Manic
stand.
Thunder.
He's a stand-up too.
Manic
in town,
Thunder
right?
fame, the famous Aaron Bennett dude.
Yeah.
Aaron Bennett's great.
Yeah, he
I
seems
love
like
him.
a really. And I think I've seen him on stage at Laugh Lounge back in the day.
Yep.
And he was funny.
Well, he was part owner. Him and Timmy.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, so I never understood. We can talk about that later. But I used to go, and then it closed down. And yeah, okay.
So Timmy and Aaron like came through like fuck, dude. It was like 07, 08, maybe into 09.
As far as you first meeting
Well,
them?
it's like once they started doing Manic Thunder, that's when that's where the concentration went, which is under 100%. You move on. But yeah, that was like predominantly when they were on the show, and those were some really good fucking episodes.
Oh, so Aaron and Timmy were on your show.
They were
for a
on
while?
our show
Oh,
for a little bit,
interesting. Okay.
and then they moved on to fucking Manic Thunder.
And as far as you know, that was like their first little venture.
But
into
during
the
those
comedy thing?
those years, while Aaron was on there, that's how I started stand up, because like Carmen's Comedy Club opened up on Sela, and he's like, "Hey man, open mic on Sundays," and like I started doing shit with Eric and them, and like I'd go up before their band, and like I'd have my shit, So I've been doing it, I don't know, like 10 years at least.
So I hear about like you and other people talking about that, but I had never heard about it until it was long gone.
Yeah.
So there was actual
an actual
comedy
comedy
club,
club.
not in the sense that like, I mean, I love Bill's and I love that they have like the Laugh Tap Comedy Club in the back room, but it's not like a dedicated comedy club. Carmen's was a dedicated comedy club in Sela.
In Sela.
I don't think I've ever even been to Sela. How big of a town is Sela?
It was like technically on a strip mall. That's where the
Interesting.
comedy club
That's-
was located. It was across the street from like a fucking Chevron.
Right. But it was actual. So who was this? Was the owner an actual woman named Carmen?
Yeah.
And she was a fan of comedy?
She was just a fan of comedy.
How fucking cool is that? How long?
She was a nice lady.
That was like in the early 2000s?
I don't know how far you go.
Well, like Mitzi, I mean, it was
yeah,
a
so
nice
this was
lady.
like 10. This was
No
like 10 years
business.
ago. It's
That's
like
so interesting that she actually
08, 09.
And how long was
2010.
it able to like? Obviously, it's not open anymore, right? Is
No,
Carmen
they closed
still
down.
around, as far as you know?
I saw her when we were still doing open mic at Sports Center.
Yeah.
She showed up with Mike Falk once.
Interesting.
I think it was Mike Falk.
He seems connected with a lot. I think he knows Jonas.
I don't know.
What was his last name?
She was with somebody, and yeah, and she came up to me and she was like really proud that I was still doing it, and I was
That's
like,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
still doing shitty comedy,
Yeah,
but
exactly. Hey,
but
I'm so proud you're still doing it. I've had absolutely no
but
success.
we were like one of the first people though to like show up at our comedy club though. Like it was me and
fucking
Aaron,
cool, man.
literally
Yeah.
that first Sunday, dude. It was just
Yeah,
me and
the
him
first opening day.
showing up
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and then like we were calling our friends like before
Nice.
cell phones and shit. We're like,
Yeah.
hey Stefan, come on down.
He's in the home line.
I remember one night it was Stefan and his girlfriend, and then like Carmen and like one of her friends, and like Aaron, and there's like 5 of us, and like that's my first foray into like doing stand up.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
did you guys have like any audience whatsoever?
It grew.
Yeah,
It grew.
that's cool.
It definitely grew.
I found that interesting that there would be. I've never even heard of it. So then after that, so the Laugh Lounge
That's when
came
the Laugh
around
Lounge-
after that.
and that was Aaron and Timmy.
And that was Aaron who just worked out a thing that was in like it was like the restaurant.
Yeah,
or the
they
bar
ran
of that.
Yeah, they ran it for the.
And that went for a while, and they got like, I was saying like, is the guy's name Jonas Knox that seems to book around here?
Jonas Barnes.
Barnes, that's right, yeah. And like I said, Louis J. Gomez, who at the time was not much of anything, but is now.
Louis J. Gomez is fucking.
Was-
that's so fucking
He was here,
crazy.
dude.
He came through,
Yeah.
dude.
And there was a couple other, I forget now, but there was a couple other like names, like not.
I wasn't
huge
really into
headliners,
stand up
but-
though then, dude. Like
No.
for me, dude. Like my like, cause like I did stand up though for those initial years, and then I had like a kind of pretty much a falling out, and that's
Right.
because like I had a second kid, and it's like
Yeah, I can
called
imagine.
life and all that shit, and so like I would do stand up here and there, and da 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 da. It wasn't really until the last 2 years
Yeah.
that I've kind of like gotten a little bit more back into it.
Interesting.
And so that's just like my friend. I credit to my friend Cindy at work because she started telling me about Joe Rogan, and then I started listening to Joe Rogan because of her, and that's how I found Joey Diaz. And I'm like, Joey Diaz changed my fucking life. Like,
man.
the church of what's happening now, dude. Like, I tell everybody, it's like it's going on a learning tree. Like, you tell any young comedian, go listen to Joey Diaz.
That's it.
Go listen to Joey Diaz.
Well, and I don't know. He mentions that I could bring him up
Gives
right now.
me fucking goosebumps right now.
I
Dude.
swear to me too. He literally says, "Yakima, Washington, cocksuckers." Well, that's where I'm bombing this Tuesday night.
He had that joke. He had that one joke about fucking.
Man.
Yeah,
he's talking about.
Springs.
I worked on a joke. He's talking about the triple runs and stuff.
I wonder where he played though. It's like Jackson's
would
probably because Jackson's
would
used
have been Jackson's at the time.
In locally,
and who knows if it must be
no,
true. Right?
I believe it, dude. I believe that he came here, dude. Why
Well,
else? He talks about going through Wenatchee.
Yeah.
Like, and this is like in the '90s, dude. Because like Jackson's like for a long time, dude, was established as a comedy club
and
too.
they still, up until not too long ago, they were still doing some stuff.
Yeah,
like
within
in
the last
back
couple
rooms
years,
and
yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a while since they've done anything, but
Yeah. Well, see, and that's why it's like.
but I believe that he's come through here.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
I believe that it probably was Jackson's that he played at.
Must have been, I guess, right? I
Yeah.
forget which documentary. I don't think it's Comedian because I just watched that one. I think it's I Am. What do they call it? It's like I Am Stand Up or I Am Comic or so. There's some like documentary that I talk to a bunch of stand-ups and his name is a little tarnished, I guess, but he's still a fucking legit comic. I think it's Carlos Mencia mentions like.
It's like disgraced comic. Carlos Mencia.
Disgraced comic.
We'll call it. I don't give a shit
That
saying
shit
it,
was
dude.
bullshit too. Not that anyone listens or matters, but like, I mean, it's been brought up before, but like that video of him allegedly
Bobby Lee's a little bitch. Like, I'll say it.
I know. I guess he steals people's stuff, but that video, I remember seeing that way back in the day where he allegedly stole Ari's like border wall. I mean, that's a fucking Jay Leno joke. That's an easy joke, but apparently he did steal stuff. But like he mentions just offhandedly where he's like, "You got to be able to kill everywhere. You got to be able to kill in L.A., Yakima, Washington, blah blah blah."
Did he say that?
Yeah, I remember
He
thinking,
fucking said that?
Like, he said Yakima, Washington.
What?
Yeah, man.
So Carlos Mencia rolled through Yakima?
Something like, or it might have been Fluffy, but I know they've all, guys like that have. They'll like the fucking
Yakima's a
Sun
hub,
Dome.
dude.
Well,
Yakima's
and that's
a
what I was
fucking
gonna
hub.
say. Like, there's no hope of any of us. Well, I don't want to be mean. There's no hope of me.
There's no hope of
There's no
me.
hope of me. All these other guys will be very successful and financially secure.
I'm
sure.
gonna make it.
Oh yeah,
Jay McNay. I'm gonna make it one day.
You're gonna make it. Everyone else is gonna make it.
I'm happy, dude.
There's
I'm
no
fucking
hope of me
happy.
ever making it, but that's fine because there's no such thing as making it anymore. And especially nowadays, I think we're in a perfect position where it's like Tacoma Comedy Club, you get big names that go there.
Mm-hmm.
Spokane Comedy Club, you get big names that go there. Obviously Seattle, I mean, the huge names. Rogan just fucking sold out Tacoma Dome.
I went to that shit, dude. I fucking
We
went.
should talk
That
about
was
that
insane.
too. That's fucking insane, dude.
I took fucking edibles.
Oh my god, that's a whole.
I took fucking edibles.
That's a
and
way story in another.
we had to pay
itself.
like fucking dude because we were just like, there's so many fucking people, dude. As we're coming through.
That's what I was thinking. How did you guys park there?
Yeah.
Did they sell that out? How does that
Yeah,
even work?
it
Is
was
that
the most- it was the
how
most-
many people is that?
It was the most people in history of the Tacoma
Like, at
Dome.
least like
It was
10,000
like 20,
people,
like 3,000.
right?
No, like
20,000
23, like 24,
That's
25.
fucking insane, man.
Somewhere within that range.
And I've never been to the Tacoma Dome, but I drive past all the time when I go. Like my brothers, it's like, how do you fit?
It was
that must have
insane.
just been a mess.
Well, it was insane, dude. Like, cause like I said, dude, like we stopped in Cle Elum and got weed, and then so I got a bunch of edibles.
Nice.
So I took the fucking edibles.
Ate them all.
Took the edibles.
I guess I'll eat them all.
Smoked weed, and like as we're like pulling up, dude, like literally we're just like fucking handling. She's like fucking $20 to park, and like she's charging everybody $20 in front of us, and then we get up, and there's like, oh, it's over, and they're like, well, $40 and you can park, and we're like, fucking $40 because like
What
literally
the fuck?
there's thousands
Nowhere
of
to-
people around
Oh,
us, dude,
just-
and we're
oh
like
my
trying
God,
to
man.
fucking just like, okay,
Fucking
give you
Woodstock.
$40, like like
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
So we give it to him, and I'm smoking weed in the car, and Jessica's like, fucking and so like I'm fucking high as shit when we're gonna have to walk like this whole way up to the Tacoma Dome, dude. And the whole time we're going up there, I'm like, I'm fucking stoned. And so like we're going through security. The guy that fucking wrote was supposed to, because they put your phone into a fucking case.
Oh yeah, because
And so they write your fucking seat number down onto a fucking piece of paper.
Cases.
The motherfucker wrote my shit down wrong.
You saw.
So I had to go to an area
where
where they had to like unlock my phone.
Oh my
And I had to be
God.
like re-get my number,
Fuck.
and it was just fucking bullshit.
immediately.
once we actually sat down, which we sat down before the show actually started, like,
how could
the show was supposed to start at 7. The show didn't start till like fucking almost 8, probably, dude. They were still letting people in.
That's insane.
They just, dude.
How far away from the stage? There's
I was pretty
jumbotron.
Well, have you
right?
been to the Tacoma Dome?
No, I've never been there. But I've
pretty
seen.
Much,
you know what's funny? I watched. What was it? Raw or
seen
SmackDown?
Yeah.
The week before was from the Tacoma Dome.
Okay.
I remember watching that, thinking, how the fuck is just
a good scene.
Rogan going to stand up there with?
Yeah, it's in the round, dude. It is in the round.
It was in the round, but
there was like no entrance or anything. They walked through the fucking crowd, dude.
Holy shit!
They walked through the fucking crowd,
damn.
dude. And it was basically like Rogan gets up there, dude, and he's got a fucking like a glass, a fucking full of whiskey, and like it's like I can because like there's a big screen, there's a big screen, so you're seeing everything decently, but you can see like I have my glasses on, I can see him decent. I was fucking stoked. Once I sat down, I was like, okay, I'm calm.
So did Ian Edwards or anyone open?
Yeah, Ian Edwards opened.
Yeah.
And there was some chick that opened the show because there was some like DJ that was playing. And some DJ playing.
I guess people were walking in.
Yeah, and then some chick fucking opened. She was alright. She fucked up a lot, but like.
Interesting. Who do you think? You don't remember who it was? I wonder who that would have even been. Like Kate Quigley or something?
No, it wasn't Kate Quigley. It was
who would that have even been?
It fucking Rogan talks about her, dude.
Yeah?
People look it up on YouTube.
Interesting. And then Ian Edwards after that.
Ian Edwards was fucking hilarious. Dude.
Yeah.
He's fucking so funny.
Wow, what a fucking.
I'd actually never seen him do stand up.
No, I don't think I've ever seen
it was
him
good,
stand up
dude.
either.
It was pretty fucking hard.
What an opportunity for a guy like that.
Yeah.
Now he's done the Tacoma Dome. Like you talk, I'm sure maybe it wasn't to capacity. People were probably still filing in, but
but still, I mean, it was
what
like
a fucking experience
no,
for him.
But the whole like energy, there was like an energy within the crowd, dude, which is
I can only imagine. Holy shit!
I mean, I don't know, because like the cool thing was like I actually went and saw wrestling at the Tacoma Dome.
Oh, have you? Was that WWF?
I saw WWE fucking stomping ground. Like 2 weeks prior,
wasn't that long ago, right?
2 weeks prior, dude. Like
that's right. That was
I took my kids to go see that shit. Like, so we went and saw it. And we were up there, and it was fun because it was like, oh, it was a good seat. You know, it was like, oh, I could see everything. It was really fun. It was really fun.
I bet.
But the thing is like half the show wasn't even sold out.
That's
so half the fucking thing was like closed off. So it was like
the part that the cameras.
But the people that were there fucking gave it their all, dude.
Sure.
It was an awesome show.
That's crazy that WWF couldn't sell it out, but Rogan and Chappelle fucking sold more tickets.
Well, yeah. Then that was the thing though. Was coming back 2 weeks later was even that much more insane. It was like the biggest sellout ever, in Tacoma Dome history.
Was that really?
Yeah. It was the biggest. It was the biggest sellout in Tacoma Dome history, dude.
Holy fuck, man!
Because they just kind of dropped it, dude. Like I just got an email.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing what?
I got a pre-sale email, dude. It was
that's
like, hey,
Taylor Swift shit. Like that's where she plays. Right. That's crazy.
Everybody plays there. Iron Maiden played there.
Well, U2 does like Safeco.
They do
and Quest.
stadiums.
They're the one, and probably not even anymore. But like. I mean,
they
Taylor
still
Swift's
come through.
but
Taylor Swift probably does the stadiums.
Taylor Swift, I think, does Tacoma Dome still. But I remember.
No, dude, I'm pretty sure.
Do you think Taylor Swift does Safeco?
I'm pretty sure.
Or Quest?
There's a chick at my work, dude, that like
Maybe.
she's told me about it, and she went to like Quest.
In retrospect, it's amazing that the fucking Seahawks sell it out easily every week. They don't. It's amazing how fucking huge football is in this country.
Fucking so expensive, dude.
It's insane. I used to be like I'm probably like 10 years ago, we'd go to like a preseason game. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but if it was affordable for me, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like impossible. It's like $300 for the cheapest ticket.
Like, I'm going to save up for the next 3 months just to go to this game.
Yeah. By myself, because
no one else
if it was with my family, then it would be completely impossible.
Well, it's like, even then, like, I don't know, I'd rather just watch it on TV.
It's always better. I mean, there is, if you can make it to a football game once in your life,
I went to one.
Seahawks, the atmosphere is pretty insane.
My story with going to the Seahawks is it was 2013.
Sorry to get on this tangent. Is that fun? I don't know why we just went on this
weird
Seahawks,
tangent. Dude. No, dude.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Dad raised me
to the Seahawks.
My dad raised me on Seahawks and fucking Mariners, dude, and Sonics, dude. It's Pacific Northwest. We bleed that shit in my household, dude. I'm sorry, but like
teal.
Dude, like I remember delivering pizza, dude. And this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I like the Green Bay Packers," and I'm like, "Why do you like the Green Bay Packers?" Because like I'm willing to give it to people. I'm always willing to give it to people. It's like, hey, my family, my dad watched them. Da 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 da. Like the guy's just like, well, in the '90s, the Seattle Seahawks sucked ass, so I chose Brett Favre. I chose Brett Favre.
You don't choose, motherfucker. It's not a choice. Of course it's retarded, but you have to buy into the retardedness of it. I've said retarded several times.
It's regional.
That's what's going to get me canceled.
Regional love.
I've been so careful to say African American and stuff. They're going to come back and say, he said retarded 3 or 4 times. That's
you can never run for president now.
No,
you can never run for president.
That was long
You're officially
gone.
disqualified, Jay.
Me not knowing how to type, I think, it disqualifies. But anyway, you don't choose. Of course, sports fandom is retarded, but you either buy into it or you don't. You don't get to choose. I liked Deion Sanders as a kid. I wasn't a Cowboys or 49ers fan. I was still a Seahawks fan. You can like a player, but you are born into wherever you're born. That's your team. You like it or not, motherfucker.
Today, I went and got my oil change, dude. I went and got my oil change. The guy's like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe just record a fucking podcast with Jay McNay."
I was like, "Oh, I heard that guy. He sucks."
No. So I told him, I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm gonna watch Monday Night Football." He's like, "Oh yeah, who's your team?" And I'm like, "Fucking Seattle Seahawks." Like, he's like, "Oh, they fucking lose." I'm like, "Yeah, well, they lose like every fucking year, dude.
It's better when they
We're gonna lose." Yeah. So like, he's like, I'm like, "Oh, what's your team?" He's like, "Fucking Raiders." I'm like, "Oh, geez, like you're."
Why? Like you said, if you're from Oakland, then I guess. But
you just gotta rep your team, dude. Like it's like Jack Hennessy. I love Jack Hennessy. You know why? Because he's always gonna rep Minnesota.
Yeah, of
that
course.
motherfucker's always gonna rep Minnesota.
Yeah, he's a Timberwolves fan.
I love
he's
it.
A fucking Vikings fan.
I love it.
And you can even him like. And you can still like go to a Seahawks game and be like, oh yeah, Seahawks are kind of like my second team. I've lived in Washington, you know, for 20 years. But you always have to be like, well, you know, I was born in Minnesota. I'm a fucking Vikings, even if they suck. I don't like it, but like, why do the Cubs fans were raised up to a point of like saintdom because they stuck with their losing team for 100 fucking years. Well, you know who the new fucking Cubs fans are? Mariner fans. We have the biggest drought in professional sports history. That's fine. I read a book one time.
It's a badge of honor, right?
Exactly. I read a book one time of like best short stories about baseball. I don't remember anything about it except for the first line that's something like now I don't remember. It was something like, baseball breaks your heart. It was made to break your heart. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you're supposed to struggle with a team for your entire life, and then they win the championship when your dad's 90 years old and on his deathbed. Like, that's what makes it great, because it doesn't matter otherwise. If you just go with the winning team, fandom doesn't mean anything, because it doesn't mean anything. It's only for fun, and it's not fun if you're just like, oh, I'm just going to root for the winning team. It's like, well, then you're a fucking douchebag. Like, you got to stick with the lose. That's what there's a reason wrestling has the good guy lose sometimes, because that's what makes it fun, you know?
You gotta pick yourself up, dude.
Yeah, you got to stick through the Steve Largent years, and then you have the Sean Alexander years. And now we've been lucky as far as football goes, but I love basketball, but I didn't just I'm not a Lakers fan now. If people ask me,
I say fuck Portland every single day, dude.
I can't be a Portland fan. I like the Blazers. I like Damian Lillard. If they won the championship, I'd be happy for them.
I would root for them,
but I'm not going to go buy a Portland jersey. I'm not going to wear it. I'm a Sonics fan. And I don't care if they never come back. I was born into the Sonics.
It's going to come back, though.
Oh, did you hear? Apparently, who knows with these stupid headlines.
Hockey. We're going to get a hockey
Hockey
team
for
first.
sure. And just like earlier this week, they said Doc Rivers in some interview or something said, I don't even know how this would work. I didn't even know Doc Rivers made these calls.
Clippers are going to come up?
But
Clippers going to come up?
They said if he didn't get Leonard. They said if he didn't get Quali Leonard, then they were going to take the team to Seattle.
They got him, right?
But they got him. So the Clippers are going to stay in Seattle. But that's been the team that people are.
Well, it's because what's his name bought it, dude. The guy that was that bought the Clippers.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
He's a Seattle tech dude, right?
Yeah, he was originally in that buying group with the original guy that was fucking fronting that shit. I forget that guy's name.
Yeah,
He's so high as fuck. But but nonetheless, there was a buying group at some point that I was trying to bet. But I mean, now that they're redoing Key Arena. We're gonna get the hockey team, so they just have to establish hockey here first.
Yeah, which they will.
It's just formulaic at this point, dude.
We'll get it eventually in a few years, and it's just money.
So it's Las Vegas is getting a fucking football team next year. That's next year, right?
I guess
2020.
Yeah, apparently that's gonna be interesting.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
they're just realigning shit. You're like, oh yeah, Chargers. You want to leave San Diego? Get the fuck up to Los Angeles, bitch.
Now it's just money. No one even cares anymore. It's just like whoever.
Well, it's like you said, dude. That common man can't pay for a game, dude. You can't. It's not like our dad's generation, dude, where it was like you can go to the Kingdom. You can go to the Kingdom.
Well, baseball. That's the one good thing about having fucking 300 games in a baseball season. Where
it's still expensive going to fucking.
It is expensive.
T-Mobile Park.
Is that what it is? That's not even Safeco, right? Yeah.
No,
but at least you can, if it's $20 a person or whatever, you can at least kind of afford it.
You can get that, but you're sitting at the very top.
Well, yeah. But
Which
it's a beautiful
not
field.
bad.
You walk around.
My dad took me to the very top of the kingdom, so it's like I'm all right. At least we're not watching it on shitty ass monitors. You know, it's designed like I don't know. I think like it's same with like fucking CenturyLink or whatever. Like it's you have a good fucking.
It is state of the art. So any seat, I remember like a couple times at CenturyLink we sat very high up in what like they call the Hawk's Nest. Yeah. Which should be shitty seats. It was like metal risers, but it was fine. It was you felt like you weren't too far away from it or anything.
Fuck yeah. All right, Jay McNay. I think that's where we ended. I think we did like
is that enough rambling
2 hours
today? Oh shit!
I'm high as fuck, dude.
That was fun. Thank you for having me. Until another day, perhaps.
Until another day. Is there anything you want to promote, sir?
Well, let's see. What do we do? Tuesday night at Bill's. I guess that's tomorrow. This will
drop later this week. But
every
Tuesday.
Wednesday, every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at Bill's. Plus, Bill's does a monthly comedy showcase of people that are usually better than we are.
So buy your tickets at Bill's.
Yep, absolutely. Thursday night at Hop Nation. And other than that, shout out to everybody. Jaime. Who else do we say?
Boom, boom, boom.
Brandon
I don't know,
Allen.
man.
That's it. Signing out officially. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
This podcast has been brought to you by Pizza Productions.